Chapter 24:13. Lu Yushuyen's words caused Qin Yun to sink into silence. He was already mentally prepared. But after hearing Lu Yushuyen say that he is a tool, his heart still suffered a great blow. Xiao Yun, don't take this matter to heart. Lu Yushuyen saw that Qin Yun did not continue speaking and comforted him. This matter is very complicated and you don't need to know too much. You just need to understand that you are now completely free, no one can control your fate. Sister Shuyen, I'm fine. Qin Yun already thought it through, Ling Yuner comforted him before. Lu Yushuyen said that this matter is very complicated. It can be seen that something happened later on that caused him to escape from the fate of being a tool. As for who arranged for him to work as a tool, he also wants to know, but Lu Yushuyen will definitely not tell him. It's good that you are fine, Lu Yushuyen said with gentle smile. Xiao Yun, next you will be modifying the Divine King Heavenly Seal. I believe you will succeed. Qin Yun looked at the Divine King Heavenly Seal and the human statue on it. It is his appearance. This made him vaguely feel that his fate is in his hands. As long as I modify it properly, I can use the divine power of Myriad Realms' Divine Sun through the Divine King Heavenly Seal, right? Qin Yun roughly understands how formidable the Divine King Heavenly Seal is. Yes, as long as you can use it to protect Myriad Realms' Divine Sun, you can borrow the divine power of 9 Myriad Realms' Divine Suns. Lu Yushuyen said. Sister Shuyen, why can't I communicate with Myriad Realms' Divine Sun? Qin Yun is already here, but he is still unable to communicate with Myriad Realms' Divine Sun's spirit. Lu Yushuyen sighed lightly. Myriad Realms' Divine Sun can't communicate with you, anyone can communicate with Myriad Realms' Divine Sunday. But only you can't. Why? Qin Yun is very puzzled. Since I have such an important heavenly seal, why is Myriad Realms' Divine Sun unwilling to communicate with me? Because Myriad Realms' Divine Sun cannot affect you. Once it communicates with you, it will have a great influence on you and then cause some changes to occur. Lu Yushuyen said. Furthermore, Myriad Realms' Divine Sun's perception towards heaven and earth might not be as good as yours. You don't need to communicate with Myriad Realms' Divine Sun. Qin Yun sighed. He clenched the godly monarch Heavenly Seal and asked, do the ancestor God Sun and second God Sun have Divine Sun descendants? Originally, the Myriad Realms' Divine Sun was lured in by the 9 heavens' divine race to deal with the descendants of the Divine Sun. However, the growth of the 9 heavens' divine clan was too slow. Divine Sun descendants reproduce very quickly. Even if we kill one batch, another batch will immediately appear. Lu Yushuyen said, don't worry about Yuelon and Yueme. They are very safe in the core region. Qin Yun looked down. Originally, there was a churning white fog with no ground. However, with the appearance of the 9-colored spring water, the land gradually formed. After Qin Yun landed on the ground, he looked at the fireball in the sky and said, Sister Shuyen, I am just a tool. The sovereigns of the various heavens can't kill me now because the 9 suns need me? If I help the 9 suns get rid of the Divine Sun's descendant, will I lose my value? Qin Yun repeatedly thought about this matter. The reason why he was not killed by the Empyreans was because he had the 9 suns heaven-raising pagoda. It could be said that the power of the 9 suns was helping him block the Empyreans. The reason why he could escape the pursuit of the Empyreans was also because he could enter the Myriad Realms' Divine Sunday. It was Yang Yang who brought him here. It was the Divine Sun heavenly beasts outside that forced the Empyreans to retreat. No. There is no need for the 9 suns to do this. If you help the 9 suns get rid of the Divine Sun's descendant, the 9 suns will make you stronger and help you defy the heavenly rule Tao orthodoxy. You and the 9 suns have a cooperative relationship. Then what about your 9 sun divine maiden? Why does the 9 sun divine maiden follow the heavenly rule Tao orthodoxy? To help me, a tool, become stronger? This is what Qin Yun is most puzzled about. Because the 9 suns are also a part of the heavenly rule Tao orthodoxy, they need to carry out the mission of the heavenly rule Tao orthodoxy. Lu Yushuyan sighed faintly. Xiao Yun, there have been many twists and turns in this matter, so you are now completely free. Furthermore, you have also lived your own life, so don't worry about this time. Don't worry about this matter, we will help you. Alright. Qin Yun suddenly felt relieved and no longer bothered about this matter. The 9 Sun Divine Maiden have a common mission, that is to protect Qin Yun. Qin Yun suddenly understood that this so-called protection is to prevent him from being killed by the heavenly sovereigns and then help the 9 suns eliminate the Divine Sun's descendant. Or perhaps it is to stabilize his mind and prevent him from collapsing after realizing that he is a tool. Right now, Qin Yun's top priority is to become stronger, because he has to face too many enemies. The threat from the 9 heavens, the threat from the heavenly sovereigns, the Divine Sun's descendant and even more unknown powerful existences, especially the mysterious Ancient Desolate. Qin Yun once went to the Ancient Desolate but now it is completely sealed. He doesn't know how to go there. According to what he knows, many ancient experts can go to the Ancient Desolate. For example, the Mother Moon is in the Ancient Desolate and many old gods gave up their god position to go to the Ancient Desolate. Xiao Yun, your Divine King Heavenly Seal is not complete. Let go of the Divine King Heavenly Seal now, I will refine it inside the core. Lu Yushuyan said. After Qin Yun let go, the Divine King Heavenly Seal was suddenly sucked into the huge fireball. How long? Qin Yun asked. It will be done very soon. Lu Yushuyan smiled and said, Xiao Yun, since you can enter here, the Divine King Heavenly Seal can be refined. It must be refined inside the 9 Divine Suns before it can become complete. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, So this is a test for me? Lu Yushuyan said with smile. It can be considered so. If you can't come, you won't be able to prove your strength, and this will also let you know about the Divine Sun's descendants. Qin Yun sat on the ground and watched Yang Yang happily play. The reason he was able to come here was because Yang Yang brought him in. He suddenly felt that his life as a tool is pretty good. He was accompanied by Yang Yang very early on. Later on, he encountered many things and on the way to this myriad realm's Divine Sun, he met the heavenly sovereigns and learned of his fate. Qin Yun took a few deep breaths, then closed his eyes and recalled his encounter with the Divine Sun's descendants. The Divine Sun's descendants are not very strong, otherwise more than 10 Tao God Realm experts would not have been suppressed by him and Yang Yang. But after thinking about it carefully, he realized that the Divine Sun's descendants are not easy to kill and there are a lot of them. Most importantly, he didn't know where they came from. However, when the Divine Sun grows to a certain extent, the Divine Sun's descendants will appear out of nowhere. Qin Yun suddenly recalled that the Divine Universe Purple Sun Mountain and the Purple Sun Heavenly Island were formed by the explosion of the Divine Universe Purple Sunday. Why did the powerful Divine Universe Purple Sun explode? It was extremely likely that it was corroded by the Divine Sun's descendants and self-destructed. The Fairy Emperor had said that there were some ruins within the Divine Universe Purple Sun Mountain. There had once been a race within the Divine Universe Purple Sun, leaving behind a flourishing civilization. But even so, the Divine Universe Purple Sun was still destroyed. The ruins that the Purple Sun elves saw, could it be the humans inside the Divine Universe Purple Sun? These humans were created by the Divine Universe Purple Sun, and their mission is to exterminate the descendants of the Divine Sun? Qin Yun carefully recalled many things, especially when he thought of how the descendants of the Divine Sun could enter the crystal. He felt that the descendants of the Divine Sun most likely came with the blue sky. The appearance of the blue sky was also very mysterious, and it had a lot to do with the Divine Sun. This blue heavenly domain wandered through many god realms and finally exploded in the god desolate land. At that time, it was mainly to exterminate those 9 heavens divine demons. However, after the blue sky exploded, the 9 heavens' divine demons were not destroyed. The blue sky came from the 9 heavens. It is extremely likely that it came from the 9 heavens' divine sun. Within the 9 heavens' divine sun, there are also humans created by the divine sun to fight against the descendants of the divine sun. Thinking of this, Qin Yun felt that the 9 heavens was about to be finished. The 9 heavens had an extremely powerful divine Sunday. After the divine sun was corrupted, it would gradually affect the living beings of the 9 heavens. That was why the 9 heavens was like hell on earth. In the 9 heavens, there are also 9 heavenly goddesses. Qin Yun suddenly thought that the 9 heavens god realm was somewhat similar to the 9 desolate. The 9 heavens goddesses definitely had different missions. Tian Shixiang was Yu Shangyun, one of the 9 heavens goddesses. As for Tian Shiro, she was Xie Qiru, one of the 9 heavens goddesses. The other one was Luo Yaofeng. She was the 9 sun goddess and also one of the 3 great divine kings of the 9 heavens, the Shadow God King. Ling Yuner said, Xiao Yun, every god realm has a powerful divine sun. The divine sun's entire life is spent fighting against the descendants of the divine sun until it is destroyed. And the destroyed divine sun can also bring about the birth of a new divine sun. The cycle repeats. The 9 heavens heavenly universe divine sun might be destroyed. Previously, there was also a divine universe purple sun that exploded in some unknown god realm, and its fragments flew into the heavens god desolate. If the 9 heavens heavenly universe divine sun exploded, it might affect the heavens god desolate. Sister Shuyan, the descendants of the divine sun have never appeared on the surface. Have they always been inside the divine sun? Qin Yun asked. He has never heard of anyone mentioning this kind of human before. At the moment, yes. Because the descendants of the divine sun are very dependent on the energy of the divine sun. Moreover, inside the divine sun, they can be close to an immortal state. Lu Yu Shuyan said, however, it is different in the heavens god desolate. 9 mighty divine sons of the myriad realms will be born here. These 9 mighty myriad realms, these 9 powerful myriad realms divine sun are enough for the descendants of the divine sun to evolve to the point where they don't need to rely on the divine sun. At this time, the divine king heavenly seal flew back. After Qin Yun grabbed it, he did not discover any difference, it is still the same. Xiao Yun, you don't need to be in a hurry to deal with the descendants of the divine sun. Only when the divine sun grows to a certain extent will it be destroyed by the descendants of the divine sun. It takes at least 10 to 20,000 years. Lu Yu Shuyan said, quickly go to the ancestor divine sun and second divine sun and place your divine king heavenly seal inside their cores to refine. Sister Shuyan, what about you? When will you be able to reach transformation realm? Qin Yun asked. I also don't know when I will be able to complete transformation realm. You don't need to worry about me, I am very safe here. Lu Yu Shuyan said. After the heavens emperor venerables appeared, the situation in the heavens god desolate became more and more complicated. You must be very careful. Chapter 24:14. Yang Yang, let's go to second divine sun. Qin Yun shouted. Yang Yang suddenly flew towards Qin Yun and lied down on his back. She said with smile, Big brother, one of my 9 tail feathers has already evolved. After I get second god sun and ancestral god sun, I can evolve 2 more. When all 9 tail feathers have completely evolved, I will be the 9 heavens vermilion bird. Lu Yu Shuyan said with smile, Yang Yang is very awesome. She was created by the 9 suns, so she can suppress the descendants of the divine sun to a certain extent. I see. Then can my 9 sun divine hammer and heaven trampling divine boots suppress the descendants of the divine sun? Qin Yun asked. Yes, but you can't completely restrain or kill them. This requires you, little Yun, to comprehend it. Once you comprehend the method to restrain it, You can borrow the power of the Divine Sun through the God King Heavenly Seal. Lu Shuyan said, in the future, when the 9 suns appear, you will borrow the power of the 9 suns. He is the strongest. Qin Yun already knew that the Divine King Heavenly Seal was related to the Divine Sun. It is just that it has yet to form its complete form. Also, the godly monarch Heaven Seal was related to the Heavenly Tao. This was because he had previously contacted Yunlong through the godly monarch Heaven Seal. Yunlong was the shopkeeper of the Heavenly Tao pawnshop, and the God King Heaven Seal had a resonance with the Heavenly Tao pawnshop shopkeeper's token. Sister Shuyan, after you come out, you must inform me as soon as possible, Qin Yun said. And, once I succeed, I will immediately use various methods to contact you. Lu Shuyan nodded and said. Although Yang Yang wanted to stay here, she still followed Qin Yun and reluctantly bid farewell to Lu Shuyan. Finally, she slid down the 9-colored waterfall. Qin Yun and Yang Yang were directly teleported outside. In the blink of an eye, they arrived outside the Myriad Realms. Divine Sunday Land is gradually appearing in the core region of the Myriad Realms. Divine Sunday. Is it about to create life? Asked Qin Yun as he stroked Yang Yang's tiny head. Yes, it might create many spirits. Yang Yang laughed. It should be the Divine Sun Elves. The next time I go there, I might be able to play with many little elves. This reminded Qin Yun of the Purple Sun Pixies. The Purple Sun Fairies were born from the fragments of the Divine Universe Purple Sun, and they were extremely powerful. Big brother, are we going to second God's Sun now? Yang Yang pointed in a direction and said, it's over there. Qin Yun and Yang Yang were only teleported to the outside of the 30th Universe Divine Sunday. They were still inside the dense white fog. They were still very close to the Divine Sun. I planned to capture a few Divine Sun descendants first. Qin Yun knew too little about the Divine Sun descendants. If he did not capture a few to study, he would not be able to find a way to restrain them. All right. Yang Yang smiled happily and said, it's like fishing. First we'll catch a few, and then we'll catch them all in one go. Qin Yun smiled and gently stroked Yang Yang's head. He said, Yang Yang, do you want to go back and play with little Momo and the rest? I'll help Big Brother catch those bad guys first, then go back and play with little Mo and the others. I want to tell them about the Rainbow Waterfall. They like to listen to my stories. Yang Yang laughed tenderly. She was the big sister of those little cuties. All right, let's go now. Qin Yun brought Yang Yang and flew towards the Divine Sun once again, heading towards the teleportation formation's location. Last time, they met the Divine Sun descendants here. Yang Yang, do you know how to lure those bad guys out? Qin Yun asked. Not long after, they arrived above the teleportation formation. They did not descend, instead they hid inside the light mist and waited for the Divine Sun descendants to appear. Qin Yun opened his heavenly eye and can see the situation of the golden white crystal ground. If someone wants to come out, the teleportation formation will react. Oh, let me think. Yang Yang sucked her finger, slightly frowning as she recalled the fragments of memories in her mind. After a while, Yang Yang said, use Divine Universe Golden Stone. Those bad guys really like Divine Universe Golden Stone. That's easy. Qin Yun still has many Divine Universe Golden Stones in his hands. Over the years, he used the 9-dragon Heavenly Origin formation and consumed many Divine Universe Golden Stones. Now he still has 2,000 to 3,000. Apart from this, there is also a relatively large Divine Universe Amethyst. Qin Yun took out the box containing the Divine Universe Golden Stones and can't help but think of the Bloodline Heavenly Rune Box. The Bloodline Heavenly Rune Box transformed into a very strange Bloodline Heavenly Rune and fused with the 9 Desolate Divine Saber, which is the current Myriad Heaven Divine Saber. To Qin Yun, this Bloodline Heavenly Rune is still a mystery. Only Yushi is clear about this secret. Qin Yun took out a few divine universe golden stones and then released the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron on the golden white crystal ground. The heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron is also very resistant to heat. It has no problem at all on the surface of the divine sun, it won't melt. He placed the divine universe golden stones inside the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron, then released the divine cauldron Tao image, and placed it inside the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. This will strengthen his control over the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron and allow it to absorb divine power even better. The heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron is like a small mountain. Its 9 handles are 9 mighty golden stones that are emitting bright and dazzling golden energy flame. Qin Yun put away the cauldron lid. Once the divine sun descendant enters the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron, he will close the lid. Big brother, will those bad guys really take the bait? This is clearly a trap. Yang Yang mumbled. Those bad guys shouldn't be that stupid, right? Qin Yun said with smile. Don't overestimate their intelligence. They have never seen my cauldron before and they are all arrogant and conceited. They are definitely fearless. The heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron is on the surface of the divine sun. In the eyes of the divine sun descendant, as long as they are on the surface of the divine sun, they are invincible. They don't need to be afraid of anything. After Qin Yun set the trap, he patiently waited. Half a day later, the teleportation formation suddenly reacted. Qin Yun immediately became spirited and controlled the hidden cauldron lid, ready to close it at any time. Among the divine sun descendants that came out, there are 2 middle-aged men and 10 young men. They are not weak, they are all wearing golden white armor and holding golden white long sabers. They are different from the previous group. The previous group of divine sun descendants mainly used spears and this group used sabers. What is this thing? A young man who appeared in the teleportation formation looked at the golden and dazzling cauldron that is like a small mountain and asked doubtfully. There is divine universe golden stone fluctuation, it is very strong. The middle-aged man in the lead excitedly flew towards the cauldron while speaking. There really are divine universe golden stones and there are 5 of them. Another middle-aged man also rushed over very excitedly. Ha ha ha, this is great, it really is divine universe golden stone. Fortunately we came out to take a look, otherwise we would have been picked up by others. These 10 or so divine sun descendants excitedly flew towards the cauldron and entered it. The fluctuation of divine universe golden stone is very penetrating, it can even penetrate space. They should have already sensed it when they were inside the divine sun, but they were not sure, so they sent people out. After they entered the cauldron, Qin Yun immediately released a supergravity to cover the mouth of the cauldron, not letting them rush out. These divine sun descendants are very strong and their reaction is also very fast. They can immediately sense the gravity that appeared at the mouth of the cauldron. They immediately rushed up, but after their bodies collided with the gravity, their bodies seemed to be weightless and floated at the mouth of the cauldron. Bang! A huge cauldron lid suddenly pressed down and then fused together with the entire cauldron body. There is not a single gap between the cauldron lid and the cauldron body, it is as if they are one whole. Bang bang bang! Waves of muffled sounds came out from the cauldron, those divine sun descendants are randomly hitting each other. There is a huge and mighty heavenly lion head on the cauldron lid. After Qin Yun slowly landed, he floated beside the cauldron. Success! Yang Yang giggled and said, "These guys are really stupid, I didn't even need to make a move." Qin Yun withdrew the heavenly lion Tao image, shrunk the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron, held it in his hand and flew away with Yang Yang. With Yang Yang here, even if they encounter divine sun heavenly beasts, they will not be attacked. This will allow Qin Yun to safely leave the myriad realms divine Sunday. 2 days later, Qin Yun and Yang Yang already flew out of the third universe divine sun's light fog and flew towards the nearby second divine Sunday. When Qin Yun flew out, He looked into the distance and suddenly discovered that the myriad heaven's divine moon has undergone a huge change. The myriad heaven's divine moon is now enveloped by a layer of blue light. The divine moon has begun to transform? Qin Yun looked at the distant myriad heaven's divine moon and said with a serious expression, "After the myriad heaven's divine moon transformation, the divine moon clan will definitely do their best to occupy the divine moon." He promptly took out a communication talisman and contacted the nameless old man. "Palace King, I finally contacted you." The nameless old man's anxious voice transmitted into Qin Yun's mind through the communication talisman. "Nameless old man, what happened during this period of time?" Qin Yun asked. "Many major events have occurred. The myriad heavens venerables have appeared. Divine King Jiang Xian, Heavenly Demon Divine King, and other divine kings have all arrived at the myriad heavens divine desolate. Moreover, they shamelessly said that they are the divine kings of the myriad heavens divine desolate." The nameless old man said, "Where are you?" Qin Yun is not surprised. This is the information he obtained long ago. "I am not with Jiang Jiuquan. Jiang Jiuquan's life is very difficult now. Nine Heavens divine race is already under the control of Divine King Jiang Xian. I am at the Myriad Realms Divine Palace." "Palace King, where are you?" "I want to go to the second Divine Sun." "What is the situation with the Myriad Heavens Divine Moon?" Qin Yun asked. "Divine Moon Clan and Guanghan Palace have already retreated from the Myriad Heavens Divine Moon and entered the Sword Forest Desert. The Myriad Heavens Divine Moon is currently in a very dangerous situation. I don't know what is happening inside. It is said that a divine king from another divine realm charged in without any regard for his life and escaped with heavy injuries." The nameless old man said, "The Myriad Heavens Divine Moon Transformation Realm is actually like this. It means that during this period of time, no one can enter the Divine Moon. If the Divine Moon Clan has no way out, they will definitely be surrounded and killed by Divine King Jiang Xian, Heavenly Demon Divine King, and the Myriad Heavens Venerables. The Divine Moon Clan was originally going to face a calamity, but now that they have entered the Sword Forest Desert, they can temporarily avoid it." Chapter 24:15. In the Divine Wilderness, only Qin Yun had a native godly monarch heavenly seal. Whether it was the nameless old man, even Jiang Jiuquan, an outsider, only recognized Qin Yun as the God King. God Kings that came from other God worlds were only strong in their original God world. After coming to the gods desolate, their God King heavenly seals would be much weaker. Luo Yaofeng was the shadow God King in the Nine Heavens. She had a portion of the God King heavenly seal in her hands. When she came to the God Wilderness, the power of the Yushan seal head was greatly weakened. "Nameless old man, ignore those godly kings for now. They won't be able to run rampant for long. Sooner or later I will go and take care of them." Qin Yun is not afraid of those godly kings. In his eyes, those God Kings were just stronger Shin Tian monarchs. The God King heavenly seals in their hands were not complete. When they came to God Desolate, they were unable to unleash much of their power. "All right, then I'll wait for you to come back," the nameless old man said. Qin Yun put away the communication talisman and looked at the divine moon that emitted a blue glow. He felt a lot more at ease knowing that the Divine Moon Clan and Moon Palace had safely moved to Sword Forest Desert. Yang Yang had already entered the Nine Yang Divine Spirit. She said that she wanted to go in to eat, but the main reason was to enter the Divine Universe Purple Sun to rest. Qin Yun's Nine Sun Divine Soul has two Chaos Divine Suns. One is Divine Cosmos Purple Sun and one is Heavenly Cosmos Divine Sunday. Among them, the two Primal Divine Suns were relatively weak. He planned to merge the two Primal Divine Suns together. This way, he would be able to improve even more. If I fuse two Primal Divine Suns together, it will definitely increase by a lot. Moreover, I will be able to use them at that time. Qin Yun secretly thought. Although Chaos Divine Sons were strong, they were not considered rare. When necessary, Qin Yun planned on releasing them to fight. Qin Yun transferred the 2 primal Divine Sons to the 4th 9-Sun Divine Soul, then released a very formidable supergravity through Nether Sun and squeezed the 2 primal Divine Sons together. Fortunately, Ling Yun is also growing very fast. Her Nether Sun can also release very strong gravity. He and Ling Yun joined hands. Coupled with the control of the 9-Sun Divine Soul, they quickly merged the 2 primal Chaos Divine Sons. I now have 3 Divine Sons in my hands. Qin Yun looked at the 3 pearls of the 9-Sun Divine Soul. Each pearl can hold 1 Divine Sunday. Only after gathering all 9 of them can the 9-Sun Divine Spirit be considered complete. Xiao Yun, do you think the descendants of the Divine Sun in the 9-Sun Divine Spirit will appear? Ling Yun asked worriedly. I don't know. It shouldn't be. It is an isolated space inside. Without my permission, it is very difficult to enter. Qin Yun shook his head and said, he also has this worry in his heart. Then is our Nether Sun considered a Divine Sun? If it is a Divine Sun, you have to be careful, Ling Yun said again. Qin Yun looked at the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. There are more than 10 Divine Sun descendants inside. He is now rushing to the 2nd Divine Sunday. He plans to study them on the way. He took out the Heaven Leaping Shuttle and entered it. Just as the Heaven Leaping Shuttle was about to fly, it was suddenly blocked by a very strong divine power. Heavenly Lord Yushin. Qin Yun's heart palpitated as he prepared to travel through space when he heard a voice. Qin Yun, I am Boss Dongfang. The person who came was Boss Dongfang. Qin Yun did not keep his guard up. Boss Dongfang doesn't dare to attack Qin Yun because his precious daughter is still in Qin Yun's hands. Come in. Qin Yun teleported Boss Dongfang in. Boss Dongfang is a handsome middle-aged man with an extraordinary bearing. Dongfang Bingbing's beauty is also inherited from her father. Qin Yun is not afraid of Boss Dongfang. He is not even on guard against him. However, Boss Dongfang is very vigilant against Qin Yun. He is still wearing red mighty armor. Please sit. Qin Yun's expression is casual. He said with faint smile, Boss Dongfang, you came really fast. I was always outside the Myriad Realms Divine Sunday. I knew you would definitely come out. After Boss Dongfang sat down, he looked around the control room and asked, Where is Bingbing? Qin Yun released Dongfang Bingbing from the 9-Sun Divine Soul. Dongfang Bingbing is wearing red tight clothes, outlining her fiery hot body curve. Her charming and slightly arrogant face is filled with astonishment as she looked at her father. She was in a room inside the 9-Sun Divine Soul before, so she did not know the situation inside the 9-Sun Divine Soul. Daddy! Dongfang Bingbing lightly shouted and said in shock, Why are you here? What happened? Qin Yun said with smile, Boss Dongfang, how did you know that I went to the Myriad Realms Divine Sun? Heavenly Sovereigns wanted to kill you before. I was watching from nearby. Boss Dongfang said, He couldn't kill you. He thought that you would die inside the Myriad Realms Divine Sun, and then the Divine King Heavenly Seal would descend upon the Divine Desolate. Daddy, what's going on with that Heavenly Sovereigns? Did he make things difficult for you? Dongfang Bingbing said in low voice. He doesn't dare. Boss Dongfang laughed, looked at Qin Yun and said, Boss Qin, your current existence is very special. Do you know about the Heavenly Rules Tao Orthodoxy? And what about the Heavenly Tao's eldest senior brother? Qin Yun asked. Boss Dongfang looked at Dongfang Bingbing and said, We always thought that you were the reincarnation of Heavenly Tao's eldest senior brother, but later we confirmed that Heavenly Tao's eldest senior brother is already dead and a new Heavenly Tao will replace him. Qin Yun now understands that the one replacing the new Heavenly Tao is most likely the Heavenly Sovereigns. Heavenly Sovereigns are the new Heavenly Tao? Dongfang Bingbing said with frown. I don't know yet. Because he didn't complete the final trial. He wants to kill Boss Qin and obtain the Divine King Heavenly Seal to pass the trial. Boss Dongfang's voice suddenly became very low. He stared at Qin Yun and said, Boss Qin, the heavenly rules Tao orthodoxy recorded your fate. You will be killed by the heavenly sovereigns, your heart will be devoured by him, the 10 Tao images inside your body will be devoured by him. Qin Yun touched his heart. He has the imperial heaven heart. After hearing Boss Dongfang's words, his heart suddenly started beating. He wants to eat my heart? Why? Qin Yun said. Because you have half a heavenly Tao heart. He wants to eat your heart to obtain the complete heavenly Tao heart, Boss Dongfang said. Qin Yun can't help but laugh because he doesn't have a heavenly Tao heart. He only has the imperial heaven heart and it is also very complete. This made him think of the imperial heaven diagram and the imperial heaven divine art. The imperial heaven diagram followed him throughout his life. After many twists and turns, it transformed into the imperial heaven divine art and finally became the imperial heaven heart. Imperial heaven is to control the heavenly Tao. This imperial heaven heart is much stronger than the heavenly Tao heart. The benefit that the imperial heaven heart brings to Qin Yun is that it allows him to enter the imperial heaven state, allowing him to obtain very strong power. This is only a relatively powerful technique that he has comprehended. As for whether there are any other techniques, he is still in the process of comprehending them. Boss Qin, this is not funny, Boss Dongfang said. The heavenly sovereigns are very strong, he can really kill you. I'm not afraid of him, Qin Yun said with a smile. He has also realized something at this moment. He guessed that there might be a method to restrain the divine sun descendants within the imperial heaven divine art. Boss Qin, father is warning you out of goodwill, Dongfang Bingbing said in a low voice. What will come will definitely come. I will make preparations to deal with it. Qin Yun suddenly has a card up his sleeve. The imperial heaven divine art is the key to restrain the heavenly sovereigns. It might even allow him to restrain the divine sun descendants. Boss Dongfang sighed. Boss Qin, to tell you the truth, the heavenly sovereigns have already entered the heavenly law pawnshop, but they are currently unable to act recklessly in the pawnshop. Dongfang Bingbing shouted in alarm. This guy, how did he get in? It was the two bosses Gongsun and Linghu who let him in, Boss Dongfang said with an angry expression. These two guys are actually loyal to the heavenly sovereigns. Qin Yun suddenly understood the reason why Boss Dongfang came to find him. There are 5 heavenly law blood tokens. I have 2 this time, and the heavenly sovereigns have 2. If you control enough heavenly law blood tokens, you can control the heavenly law pawnshop, right? Qin Yun asked. That's right. Boss Dongfang nodded. Qin Yun said with a smile. So Boss Dongfang wants to stand on my side? Boss Dongfang said with a helpless expression. I can only do this because Dongfang Bingbing is Qin Yun's maid. He must stand on Qin Yun's side. Otherwise, he must abandon his daughter and go against Qin Yun. In 50 days, the heavenly law pawnshop will have a big meeting. At that time, those who hold the heavenly law blood token will have to come and vote. Otherwise, the heavenly law pawnshop will fall into their hand. We have 3 votes, we can definitely suppress them, Boss Dongfang said. Alright, 50 days, right? I will definitely go, Qin Yun said with smile. If the heavenly sovereigns hold the heavenly law blood token, then they won't be able to kill me. Boss Dongfang shook his head and said, he is not that stupid. The heavenly law blood token is still in the hands of Linghu and Gongsun. They are loyal to the heavenly sovereigns and are helping them control the heavenly law pawnshop. In 50 days, I will go to the heavenly law pawnshop, Qin Yun said. Boss Qin, the heavenly sovereigns will also go, won't they kill you? Dongfang Bingbing said in low voice. Don't worry about that. Those who hold the heavenly law blood token will be protected inside the heavenly law pawnshop, Boss Dongfang said. With the heavenly rules and Tao inheritance, no one can violate them. Qin Yun also plans to go and understand the situation of the Heavenly Law pawnshop at that time. Also, he wants to call Tian Daozi. Boss Dongfang warned Qin Yun a few times, telling him to live well. Then he left the heaven-leaping shuttle and returned to the Heavenly Law pawnshop. Qin Yun continued to go to the second divine Sunday Dongfang Bing Bing, has been taken into the 9 Sun Divine Spirits' house. Teleport to the warehouse. Qin Yun went to the warehouse and first released the 9 Dragon Heavenly Origin formation. Then he placed the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron inside the formation. He is still not at ease, so he released the Heaven Locking Chain and the 9 Sun Heaven Raising Pagoda. Chapter 24:16. After Qin Yun loosened the lid of the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron, with a boom sound, the lid was sent flying and more than 10 people jumped out of the cauldron. These divine sun descendants have been locked in the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppressing Cauldron for such a long time, and they have been constantly attacking the cauldron walls. Now that they have been released, they are still full of energy. As soon as they saw Qin Yun, they madly roared and rushed over. As they madly rushed over, they shot out balls of divine power or used the long sabers in their hands to slash out a large amount of saber energy. Their attacks were all very fierce, but they were all blocked by the 9 Dragon Heavenly Origin formation. Qin Yun can still feel the aura of their crazy attacks from outside the formation. The divine power they released is indeed very strong. "You damned reptile, you actually plotted against us," the middle-aged man in the lead said with a face full of anger. "You reptiles on the ground, one day we will descend to the earth and tear you apart to make soup." Qin Yun already knew that these divine sun descendants did not treat the people on the ground as humans. The group of divine sun descendants crazily cursed Qin Yun and even said all kinds of threatening words. Qin Yun stood there very calmly, watching them talk. He was not in a hurry to make a move. The heaven locking chain is hanging around his neck, the 9 Sun Heaven Raising Pagoda is behind him, and he is holding the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Previously, he was worried that these divine sun descendants would be able to break through the 9 Dragon Heavenly Origin formation, so he was on guard. But now it seems that the strength of these Tao God Realm divine sun descendants is not enough to attack from the inside. Qin Yun said with a smile, "I am a reptile from the ground. I used a few divine universe golden stones to trick you, the incomparably noble descendants of the divine sun, into my trap. Ayaya, you noble divine sun descendants, how could you be so careless and actually be tricked by a little reptile like me?" Hearing Qin Yun's words with a smile, the group of divine sun descendants are about to explode in anger. Their eyes are bloodshot and the veins on their faces are bulging. Their fiendish appearance makes it seem like they want to skin Qin Yun alive. "Reptile! I want to eat you bite by bite!" a young man shouted angrily. "Tsk, tsk, tsk." Qin Yun continued to sneer. "Now it seems that you are all reptiles, captured by my trap and toyed with by me." Boom boom. The dozen or so descendants of the divine sun god exploded in anger and crazily attacked the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation. The ferocity of their anger truly frightened Qin Yun. He was so frightened that he took a few steps back. Qin Yun also wanted to see how strong the limits of these people's strength were. These guys are really scary. If it wasn't for Yang Yang suppressing them last time, I'm afraid it would have been very difficult for me to deal with that group of divine sun descendants by myself. Qin Yun could roughly estimate the strength of the group of divine sun descendants after seeing their angry expressions. After being locked in the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppression Cauldron for so long, it had already consumed a lot of their divine power. Taking them away from the myriad realms' divine sun meant that they would not be able to replenish their divine power. However, they were still able to unleash such a powerful force. If these descendants of the divine sun god were to descend upon the earth, it would definitely be a disaster. Qin Yun's current 9-dragon heavenly origin array can only be entered from the outside but cannot be exited from the inside. Therefore, he could attack from the outside. You are the real reptiles. Qin Yun laughed mischievously, holding a small pistol. His pistol looks like it was carved out of a sapphire. It is very exquisite and its power is also very formidable. Qin Yun has not refined bullets for some time. The bullets he refined before are almost used up. Moreover, their power is not enough to deal with his current enemies. However, this God King pistol can condense Qin Yun's divine power into a bullet and shoot it out. It has very strong penetrating power. Qin Yun spent a lot of painstaking effort to refine this God King pistol. When needed, it can even turn into a shoulder cannon. Qin Yun poured his Imperial Heaven divine power into the God King pistol and condensed it into a bullet. The more Imperial Heaven divine power he infused, the longer the condensation time and the stronger the bullet's might. The condensed bullet is formed from the runes inside the God King pistol. When it is shot out, the bullet will also be strengthened by the various powerful runes inside the God King pistol. Reptile, look here. Qin Yun shouted at a youth and then shot. Bang! The bullet flew out and arrived in an instant, piercing into the youth's chest. After the young man was hit, he was sent flying, and a small hole appeared in the golden white armor on his chest. What caused Qin Yun to be amazed is that the bullet did not pierce through the youth's body, it only pierced through and produced a powerful impact that sent the youth flying. Is it because the armor is too strong? So after piercing through the armor, the power is weakened? Qin Yun roughly estimated, the power is pretty good. If the youth did not have armor, his body would have been pierced through. The bullet's energy is mainly used for piercing, so after piercing through the body, there is not much energy left. Otherwise, if the bullet entered the body and exploded, the damage would be even greater. Ha ha ha. Ridiculous reptile, you can't kill us. Although the youth's chest has a hole, he stood up and laughed loudly. The other 10+ divine sun descendants also laughed loudly. We are undying and indestructible. Even if you can destroy our bodies, you can't destroy our souls. A middle-aged man laughed loudly and said, This place is very far from the Myriad Realms' divine Sunday. Even if your souls leave the Myriad Realms' divine sun, where can you run to? Qin Yun laughed and said, I don't believe that you are undying and indestructible. Reptile, I'll let you see how powerful we are. I'll let you understand why you are a reptile. The body of the youth who was shot suddenly split open and exploded with a boom sound. After the youth self-destructed, fragments flew everywhere, and at the center of the explosion, there is a golden white light ray. This is the youth's soul. Just you wait, we have already memorized your appearance. One day we will capture you. The middle-aged man finished speaking and his body suddenly exploded. Soon after, the other divine sun descendants' bodies also exploded. More than 10 golden white light balls appeared inside the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. They are their souls. You only have weak souls left, where can you run to? Qin Yun immediately activated the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation to strengthen the space defense. Soon after, he released a very strong mental power through the nether moon and used it to condense soul extermination bullets that are specialized in attacking souls. Bang! After firing, the bullet hit a light ball. However, that light ball is completely fine. Qin Yun is shocked. If the soul is not destroyed, as long as it absorbs enough energy, it can reconstruct the body. Is this the secret of the divine sun descendants' undying and indestructible secret? Qin Yun does not believe it. He used all kinds of special techniques to deal with souls and crazily attacked those light balls. However, no matter what he did, he was unable to destroy those light balls. The souls of the divine sun descendants are not only powerful, they can also ignore all kinds of energy attacks. Those souls looked like shadows. No matter how much they were hit, the energy could only pass through them. They were unable to disperse the souls. Qin Yun took a few deep breaths and released a devouring power through the nether moon and nether Sunday. This is used to devour souls and mental power. The devouring power is very strong. Many pieces of corpses and armor inside the formation were sucked into the formation wall. However, those souls were not sucked in. Nether Sun and Nether Moon are actually unable to devour these souls. You're dead for sure. Suddenly, a voice resounded in Qin Yun's mind. With a whoosh, those dozen or so souls suddenly flew out. They actually penetrated the barrier. These souls are indeed like shadows, there is nothing that can restrain them. Seeing the dozen or so souls coming over, Qin Yun anxiously took out the soul creation heavenly cauldron. After the soul creation heavenly cauldron grew in size, it covered the dozen or so souls that flew over. Qin Yun gasped for breath. Just now, he was also very nervous and cold sweat seeped out of his back. He had previously placed the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron inside the 9 sun divine spirit. If these divine sun descendants abandoned their bodies, their souls would definitely be able to penetrate the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. At that time, they would wreak havoc inside the 9 sun divine spirit and enter the divine sun of the 9 sun divine spirit. Thinking about it carefully, Qin Yun felt even more lingering fear. It is truly not easy for the core region of the myriad world's divine sun to be able to block these guys' infiltration. Qin Yun finally realized why these divine sun descendants could enter so many divine suns. The divine sun inside his 9 sun divine spirit was already in danger before, it was almost invaded by the divine sun descendants. I was too careless, too careless. Qin Yun blamed himself in his heart. Luckily the soul creation heavenly cauldron is useful. Ling Yuner said, Xiao Yun, those guys are inside the soul creation heavenly cauldron, they can't run out. Ling Yuner ran out of the holy tribulation gate and comforted Qin Yun. Qin Yun hugged the charming long-legged fairy, pinched her face and said with smile, Help me ask Cauldron Spirit whether or not it can refine those guys. The soul creation heavenly cauldron has already been flipped over by Qin Yun. Now that the divine sun descendants have entered the heavenly cauldron, they can't run out. Ling Yuner arrived beside the soul creation heavenly cauldron and used her mind to communicate with Cauldron Spirit. The soul creation heavenly cauldron has also turned into a small blue cauldron. Its pair of translucent blue wings are lightly flapping. It looks very mysterious and dreamy. Qin Yun felt that it was necessary to study the structure of the soul creation heavenly cauldron and create a divine tool that could capture and seal the souls of the divine sun descendants. After chatting with Cauldron Spirit for a while, Ling Yuner shook her head at Qin Yun with a frown and said, Cauldron Spirit said that she can't refine those souls, she can only restrain them inside. Why can't she refine them? Qin Yun hastily asked. Cauldron Spirit should know, right? Cauldron Spirit said that in order to refine those souls, she needs a special kind of flame. She can't produce that kind of flame. Ling Yuner said. Flame? What kind of flame? Qin Yun rubbed his nose. He had mastered several kinds of flames. A flame that can destroy heaven and earth. That's what Cauldron Spirit said. Ling Yuner stuck out her tongue at Qin Yun and said, Little Yun, have you heard of this flame? Chapter 24:17. In Qin Yun's eyes, the Thearchs were the same as the descendants of the Divine Sun. They were all existences that he had to eliminate. Xiao Yun, I think there might not be any heaven-destroying earth-extinguishing fire. Ling Yuner said, Perhaps the heavenly cauldron of creation soul has been with the heavenly Tao for many years. The heavenly Tao believes that only the heavenly cauldron of destruction can deal with the descendants of the divine Sun God. Therefore, the Cauldron Spirit also thinks so. The heavenly Tao should also know about the matter of the descendants of the divine Sun. There's actually nothing they can do. Qin Yun sighed and said, It seems like the descendants of the divine Sun are really difficult to exterminate. Ling Yun looked at the soul creation heavenly cauldron and said, Xiao Yun, if you can comprehend the method to exterminate the descendants of the Divine Sun, then you will be an existence that surpasses the heavenly Tao. Surpassing the heavenly Tao. Qin Yun recalled the heart of Imperial Heaven. Perhaps it was something he had obtained after escaping the fate of being a tool. Is the heart of Imperial Heaven an inheritance or something I cultivated myself? Qin Yun suddenly had doubts. Although the Imperial Heaven heart was obtained from the 9-yang Divine Soul, he believed that if it wasn't for him, it might not have been born. As long as you can figure out a way to restrain the descendants of the Divine Sun, even if your cultivation is not high, it will prove that you are an existence that surpasses the heavenly Tao. Ling Yun said again, Xiao Yun, no matter what, you must work hard to find a way to destroy the descendants of the Divine Sun, otherwise, our Divine Sun will be in danger. I will. Qin Yun put away the soul creation heavenly cauldron. He now has a preliminary understanding of the mysteries behind the Divine Sun's undying and indestructible descendants. After cleaning up the scene, Qin Yun returned to the central control room and continued on his way to second Divine Yang. In fact, for Qin Yun to reach this stage was already very impressive. If it were anyone else, they would not be able to stop the soul of a Divine Sun descendant from leaving. Once those souls left and returned to the 10,000 realms Divine Sun, it would definitely incur the wrath of the descendants of the Divine Sun inside the 10,000 realms Divine Sunday. They might even take action. On the way to the second Divine Yang, Qin Yun sat on a chair in the central control room and looked at the Divine Monarch Heavenly Seal. The God King Heaven Seal had already been imprinted with a myriad worlds Divine Sun imprint. He secretly sensed it and found Lu Yu and Shuyan's blood qi. It was as if Lu Yu Shuyan's heavenly blood had been injected into it. Could it be that this requires the 9 suns Divine Maiden's heavenly blood to refine? Qin Yun was puzzled. The godly monarch Heavenly Seal needs to be branded with 9 myriad worlds Divine Suns for it to be complete, and this requires the help of the 9 Sun Divine Maiden. The godly monarch Heavenly Seal was not simple. The god kings of the other divine worlds and the supremes of the various celestial heavens think that obtaining the God King Heavenly Seal is enough. They don't know anything at all. Ling Yun lightly snorted. The God King Heavenly Seal belongs to you, little Yun. The Heavenly Seal was born because of you. Other than you, no one else can obtain the God King Heavenly Seal. It seems like the Divine King Heavenly Seal is constantly changing. This kind of change is not something even 9 suns can predict. Qin Yun said with smile, This is a good thing, I like this kind of change. The godly monarch Heavenly Seal will definitely grow with you, the 9 suns and divine desolation. Such a divine object is certainly not a dead object, it must have its own life. Ling Yun said. Yeah. Qin Yun can feel the power of the godly monarch Heavenly Seal more and more. Although he is still unable to unleash any substantial formidable power, in the future when the 9 suns appear, he can use the godly monarch Heavenly Seal to absorb the power of the 9 suns. Just thinking about it is terrifying. Xiao Yun, it seems like the 9 suns want to bind you, divine desolation and the entire 9 suns together. If the 9 suns are destroyed, divine desolation will also be destroyed. Maybe even the 9 Sun Divine Maiden will be in danger. Ling Yun's voice is somewhat grave. The 9 suns want to pressure me, make me find a way to exterminate the descendants of the Divine Sun. Qin Yun said with smile. It seems like the 9 suns think that I am more reliable than the supremes of the various heavens. That's why they want to protect me and help me defy the heavenly rules. Ling Yun saw how cheerful Qin Yun is and said with charming smile, Xiao Yun, the 9 suns are helping you. That's why the 9 Sun Divine Maiden has been helping you for so many years. The supremes of the various heavens are my stepping stone. If I want to conquer this world and control the heavenly Tao, I must get rid of the new heavenly Tao, the supremes of the various heavens. Qin Yun chuckled. What heavenly Tao? I don't care about it. My goal is to control the heavens. Qin Yun thought about it carefully. His goal is so far ahead, but it is much stronger than the supremes of the various heavens. The various supremes of the various heavens are people who eat and wait for death. They believe that they will become the new heavenly Tao and have great faith in the heavenly rules and Tao orthodoxy. Therefore, they don't work hard and just sit and wait for themselves to become the heavenly Tao. And Qin Yun is under all kinds of pressure. He has no choice but to fight against the heavenly rules and Tao orthodoxy. He has no choice but to force himself to become stronger. This is an existence that is wrestling with the heavenly rules and Tao orthodoxy. The heaven-leaping shuttle is flying in the void. Behind it is the blue light of the various heavens' divine moon, and in front is the light of the second divine Sunday. The second divine sun is much bigger than the third divine sun, and the light is also much stronger. Therefore, the halo of the second divine sun is much bigger than the third divine Sunday. Qin Yun quickly entered the light fog area of the second divine sun, which is also the halo. After entering, he was surrounded by intense light. He had no choice but to walk out of the heaven-leaping shuttle, because if he continued to enter, even the heaven-leaping shuttle would not be able to withstand the scorching heat. I wonder if Yuelan's situation is the same as Sister Shuyan's. Qin Yun flew towards the second divine sun alone. He has not encountered any divine sun heavenly beasts yet, so he did not let Yang come out and let her stay inside the 9-sun divine soul. Xiao Yun, the fourth myriad realm's divine sun, should be coming out soon. I wonder what kind of great change it will bring. Ling Yuner said, among the 9 sun goddesses, Yu is ranked 4th, right? At that time, she will enter the 4th divine sun. And Qin Yun nodded. Yu and Yang Shuriwei can be considered twins. However, Yu has white hair and her temperament is ice cold, fierce and overbearing. She also has a bit of a delicate temperament. Qin Yun and Yu have met many times, but after coming to the Divine Desolate, he did not see Yu much. Of course, his relationship with Yu is quite good. Yang Shuriwei said before that Yu often asked about him. The relationship between Qin Yun and the white-haired beauty Yu is also very strange. It is very good, but there is still a layer of estrangement. Sister Yu and Sister Sushin are both white-haired beauties. They should have met already, right? Ling Yun began to let her imagination run wild again. She giggled and said, if only I could take a bath with these 2 white-haired beauties. Qin Yun curled his lips and scolded with a smile. Great beauty Yun, wait until we reach the core region of the second divine Sunday. Maybe we can meet Yu Shaoling. You 2 rogue elves will meet very soon. Yu Shaoling. Humph, I have to properly teach her a lesson this time. She actually said that my figure is not as good as hers. Ling Yun tenderly groaned and said. Qin Yun is using his mind to converse with Ling Yun while flying towards the myriad realms divine Sunday. His speed is not very fast. He also opened his heavenly eye and looked around from time to time. If there is a divine sun heavenly beast, he would be able to discover it immediately. Qin Yun originally thought that he would not encounter any humans on the way to the second divine Sunday. At most, he would encounter a divine sun heavenly beast. However, he encountered a group of people. That group of people also discovered him. They flew over very quickly. Qin Yun has many concealment techniques, but he will always be discovered by others. The current Divine Desolate is filled with talents. There are always people who can create many powerful tools that can detect the humans around them. Although he has been discovered, Qin Yun is not panicking at all. Even if he faces Shen Tianjun, even if he faces the heavenly sovereigns, even if he is surrounded by the descendants of the Divine Sun, he can still escape unscathed. There are 40 to 50 people in that group. Qin Yun can sense them, but he doesn't know what they look like. because in this area, even if they are very close, they are all blocked by a very strong light mist. There is no frightening aura, we are not here to fight. A blue chain is hanging around Qin Yun's neck. That is the heaven-locking chain. If the other party wants to fight, Qin Yun is not afraid at all. The strongest of the people who came are only at the Dao God realm, and there are only a few of them. Very quickly, that group of people arrived beside Qin Yun and surrounded him. Then, they used some divine talismans to blow away the surrounding light mist. When Qin Yun saw this group of people, he is somewhat surprised. This group of people's appearance and build are the same as normal people. There are old people, middle-aged people, and young people. They all have one obvious characteristic, which is that there is a vertical eye on their forehead. They are people from the Three-Eye Divine World. Three-Eye Divine World's Three-Eye Heavenly City was also invited to the Sword Forest Desert. Qin Yun and Three-Eye King's relationship is very good. Qin Yun did not relax his vigilance. Three-Eye Divine World's Divine King also brought people to the Divine Desolate. This group of people might not be Three-Eye Kings. Everyone, is there something you need? Qin Yun cupped his hands with a smile and looked at a tall old man. This old man seems to be the leader of this group of people. Little brother, we are looking for a ship here. I wonder if you have ever seen a ship shaped like a big turtle? The old man asked. A big turtle-shaped ship? Qin Yun shook his head. I have never seen it. I wonder why you are looking for this ship? That is the Heavenly Turtle Divine World's ship. I found out that they came here, so I wanted to hitch a ride to the second Divine Sun. The old man said with a smile. Go to the Divine Sun? You can enter as you please now? Qin Yun is somewhat surprised. He knows that there are Divine Sun descendants inside the second Divine Sun. How can it be so easy to enter? Of course you can't enter as you please. You can only enter if you are invited. There is a powerful race inside the second Divine Sun. They are inviting all the experts of the Divine Desolate. Our Three-Eye Divine World's Three-Eye Divine King has been invited. We can also bask in the limelight. The old man said with mischievous smile. Qin Yun said with smile. Then, can this lowly one also bask in the limelight? This lowly one is from the Inscription Gate. I am an Inscription Master and also the Sect Master of the Inscription Gate. Inscription Gate? Please forgive this old man for being ignorant and inexperienced. I have never heard of this sect. The old man said with awkward smile. It is very normal that you have never heard of it. It is because my small sect is very small. It is not popular. Qin Yun said with smile. I, Yun, am very honored to be able to meet the geniuses of the Three-Eye Divine World. Soon after, Qin Yun took out some divine talismans and gave them to the people of the Three-Eye Divine World as a small gift. His divine talismans are not ordinary, they can be used to deal with 9 heavens divine demons. Moreover, there are heavenly law divine runes. These divine talismans were also sealed by Ling Yun or using the Gemini treasure mirror. Chapter 24:18. Three-Eye Divine World's people also saw that Qin Yun dared to come to this place alone, so they don't dare look down on him. They could sense Qin Yun's divine power aura. He was only a sacred god, but they did not underestimate him because of that. This was because they believed that Qin Yun was deliberately hiding his cultivation level. After Qin Yun gave out a small gift, he became friends with the Three-Eye Divine World's people and entered the Myriad World's Divine Yang Land with them. In order to let Qin Yun sneak in, they even took out a fake eye and stuck it on Qin Yun's forehead. This way, he can pretend to be someone from the Three-Eye Divine World. This group of people was a small battle team. In the team, most of them had a master-disciple relationship. The old man in the lead was called Luo Fu. He was the commander of a small war god legion under the Three-Eyed God King. Through their conversations, Qin Yun learned about the mysterious powerful race in the Myriad World's Divine Yang Land. He had thought that the mysterious race was a descendant of the divine sun god. However, from Luo Fu's description, he didn't seem like a descendant of the sun god. The divine sun descendants Qin Yun met in the three divine sun are all wearing golden white crystal suit. However, the mysterious powerful race Luo Fu mentioned are wearing white and blue clothes. They look like a very refined scholar's gown. This was different from the descendants of the divine sun that Qin Yun knew. Although they were dressed differently, Qin Yun could not be sure that they were not descendants of the divine sun god. Captain Luo, there were people from the Nine Heavens divine race stationed in Second God Sun City before. After the Nine Heavens divine race left, a mysterious and powerful race appeared so quickly? Qin Yun asked curiously. I don't know either. I know someone from the Nine Heaven divine race. He is a subordinate of the Jiang clan king. According to him, the interior of the second God Yang is very big, and although their Nine Heavens divine race was able to enter the second God Yang back then, they could only move around in a small area. Luo Fu said, those mysterious strong races might have always been in other places. Zone. Could it be that after the Nine Heavens divine clan left, the mysterious clan began to appear? Qin Yun is even more puzzled, he said. Nine Heavens divine race's strength should not be weak, but they were abandoned by the second divine sun. Could it be that the strong clan is stronger than the Nine Heavens divine clan? A middle-aged man beside Luo Fu laughed. Sect leader Yun, the Nine Heavens divine race might not be very strong. The Nine Heavens used to be a very powerful divine realm, but now it has declined. The Nine Heavens heavenly divine sun is old and feeble. It shouldn't be able to hold on for long. All of the god realms had been in contact with each other recently and had been spying on each other. Therefore, they had some understanding of the other god realms. Qin Yun had previously speculated that the heaven cosmic divine sun was on the brink of destruction. This was definitely the result of a large number of divine sun descendants' corrosion for many years. Luo Fu said, Sect Master Yun, you were born and raised in God Desolate, naturally you don't know the situation of other god realms. The situation in most of the divine realms is more or less the same. They are all half dead, and the divine power of the divine sun is close to exhaustion. The corners of Qin Yun's eyes twitched. If that was really the case, then when the other god realms were destroyed, a large number of descendants of the divine sun god would swarm into the gods desolate. In the future, there would definitely be 9 myriad worlds divine suns in the gods desolate. Each of them would be very strong, and there would be enough for a large number of divine suns to enter. Why is this happening? Asked Qin Yun. In this world, nothing is immortal. The divine sun is the same. Our 3i divine world's divine sun is already old. When its energy is exhausted, it will explode before its death, turning its core into all kinds of resources and scattering them everywhere. Luo Fu sighed. God's desolate is incomparably vast. Even now it is still expanding. In the future, when the divine suns of other god realms are destroyed, God's desolate space will also devour the space of other god realms and grow into a true God's realm. A middle-aged man said, God's desolate space is expanding, so when it collides with the space walls of other god realms, people from other god realms can easily come over. To the other god realms, the gods' wasteland was like a new continent. Everyone wanted to occupy the biggest and best territory here. Some god realms want to exterminate the native races of gods desolate, while some god realms want to take a friendly and peaceful path and coexist with the native races of gods desolate. Natives like Qin Yun and others don't know much about the native races of gods desolate. Because gods desolate is too big, it is very easy to give birth to powerful races. People from other god realms are even less clear about the situation of gods desolate. The Purple Sun Fairy race and 8 Tao race that Qin Yun met before are powerful races born in gods desolate. Luo Fu wants to find the Heavenly Turtle Divine Realm ship because he is worried that he will encounter strong enemies on the way. The Heavenly Turtle Divine Realm ship is very strong, it is famous for its toughness. Moreover, the people of the Heavenly Turtle Divine Realm are very friendly. As long as you have a good attitude and sign a friendly soul contract with them, you can board the ship. Qin Yun blends in with the three-eyed group. If everything goes well, he will be able to enter the second divine sun and then figure out what is going on inside. He is sure that Xiao Yuelon has already entered the second divine Sunday. As long as she gets close to the second divine sun, she will be teleported to the core area. That is how Luo Shuyan entered before. Luo Fu has a compass in his hand, it is a tool specially used to detect life. At this moment, the needle is trembling and pointing in a direction. There are people over there and there are quite a few of them. Luo Fu looked at the number displayed on the compass and said with a frown, "There are hundreds of them. Are they also invited to enter the second divine sun?" "We should be careful," Qin Yun said in a low voice. Luo Fu nodded. At this moment, they all took out their weapons and activated their armor. They poured divine power into it and entered a very strong defensive state. Qin Yun does not have armor, he also does not need it. Don't take the initiative to go over. Those people are not from the Heavenly Turtle Divine Realm. According to the compass, there are people from the Nine Heavens Divine Race among them. Luo Fu suddenly stopped and said, "This is also what he saw from the compass." Nine Heavens Divine Race? Other than the Nine Heavens Divine Race, who else is there? Qin Yun asked. It shouldn't be the people from the Jiang Clan King's faction. The people from the Nine Heavens Divine Race are divided into two factions. The faction led by the Jiang Clan King is peaceful. The one led by Divine King Jiang Xian is very aggressive. Luo Fu said. People from other divine realms were able to figure out the situation of the Nine Heavens Divine Race in such a short period of time. It can be seen that they truly intend to stay in the God Desolate. The guy with the Nine Heavens Divine Race might be a Nine Heavens Divine Demon. Another old man's expression changed. Nine Heavens Divine Demon? It seems like it's the Nine Heavens Divine Race from Divine King Jiang Xian's faction. Luo Fu's expression also became solemn and said, "Let's speed up and fly away from these ogres as soon as possible." The people from the other divine realms are all afraid of the Nine Heavens Divine Race and Nine Heavens Divine Demon. After knowing that these two groups of ogres from the Nine Heavens are in the vicinity, the youths of the Three-Eye Divine Realm all began to panic. Qin Yun is actually very calm. As long as the other side does not have Shin Tianjun, he is completely not afraid. He is very proficient in dealing with Nine Heavens Divine Demon and Nine Heavens Divine Race. Just as Luo Fu and company increased their speed, the compass's pointer also began to tremble rapidly, meaning that someone is chasing after them. "Damn it, those guys are chasing after us," Luo Fu said in a deep voice. "Everyone hurry up, increase your speed and fly." "Captain, we won't be eaten, right? I heard that the Nine Heavens Divine Race from Divine King Jiang Xian's faction loves to eat people the most. Nine Heavens Divine Demon likes to eat people even more. I wonder where they heard the rumor that eating our third eye can make up for our eyes. Then if we get caught, won't we be dug out and eaten by them?" The group of youths also said that they are panicking. "Calm down," Luo Fu shouted in a deep voice, calming down the group of panicking youths. The people of the Three-Eye Divine World could see many things with their third eye. Furthermore, they could see quite far. It could be considered a special innate ability. Their special eyes were equivalent to special abilities, so it was normal for them to be used as supplements by the man-eater demons. Qin Yun understood why they were in such a hurry to find the Heavenly Turtle Divine Ship. It was because they were afraid of those man-eating demons. Man-eater was the nickname of the Nine Heavens God Clan and the Nine Heavens Godly Demon. It was a name that many people in the God realm used in private. They could only fly as fast as they could. The more one was afraid of something, the more likely it would happen. There were a few dozen of them, but they couldn't escape in the end. In an instant, they were surrounded by the hundreds of man-eating demons. The youngsters of the three-eyed god realm were trembling in fear. Luo Fu was still calm and said loudly, "I am Luo Fu, the commander of the 80th group under the three-eyed divine king." "So it's the three-eyed divine king's subordinate," a middle-aged man from the 9 heavens divine race said with an evil and sharp voice, as if he was laughing strangely. "Friends, may I know why you have stopped us?" Although Luo Fu's expression was calm, he was panicking in his heart. "It's nothing, we're just hungry. We came to ask you for something to eat." That middle-aged man from the 9 heavens divine race laughed sinisterly. Because the eyes of the several hundred man-eating demons surrounding them are filled with hunger and thirst, they all look like hungry ghosts reincarnated. There are a few high-level 9 heavens godly demons with floating silver hair. They are drooling as if they have seen delicious food. Their body shape is the same as a normal human, moreover they have silver hair and handsome appearance. They are all high-level 9 heavens godly demons. It is very easy to distinguish them. And these kind of 9 heavens godly demons are usually very strong and they like to eat people. Qin Yun touched the heaven-locking chain hanging around his neck. He could remove the heaven-locking chain at any time and use it as a whip to attack. "We have some beast meat, we can give you some." Luo Fu squeezed out a friendly smile. "Friends from the three-eyed god realm, you should know that we are man-eating demons, right? Do you think we will eat beast meat?" A young 9 heavens godly demon said with sinister smile. Although Luo Fu is the commander, his group has a lot of youngsters. Moreover, there are several hundred man-eating demons surrounding them. "Don't talk about living, it will be very difficult for 1 or 2 of them to escape. You want to eat us? Aren't you afraid of the three-eyed god realm's revenge?" Luo Fu said in cold voice and tightly held the saber in his hand. Chapter 24:19 Luo Fu and the others have very high position in the three-eyed divine world. After all, they are the war gods under the three-eyed divine king. But in this place, they are about to become food. This is a world where the weak are prey to the strong. Especially in front of those man-eating devils, not only will they become food, they will also be humiliated and tortured before dying. At this moment, Luo Fu and the others completely understand that it is not that easy to survive in God Desolate. They are still very weak in God Desolate, unlike in the three-eyed divine world where they can stand above others. Friends from the three-eyed divine world, helping us fill our stomachs is not a shameful thing. You guys just have to suffer a bit. The leader of the 9 heaven divine demons stuck out his long tongue and licked his lip. "How about this, if you want to live, each of you will have to cut off your own arm and leg. We are willing to let you go." The 9 heaven divine race middle-aged man said with mischievous laugh. "This can be considered as us being very benevolent. Cut off their own arm and leg." After the three-eyed divine world people heard this, they saw a glimmer of hope in their despair. It can be seen how terrified they are. To them, as long as they can live, it is fine. Losing a leg or an arm was not a big deal at all, because they could still grow new ones through cultivation in the future. If they lose their life, they will die. Some youngsters are already tightly holding their weapons, looking at their own arms and legs. They are planning to cut off their own limbs. Don't believe their nonsense. Luo Fu can also sense the despair of those youngsters. He suddenly shouted. After they tricked us into cutting off our own limbs, they will definitely not let us go. Not unless they sign a contract with us. Another three-eyed old man also said coldly, "They have several hundred people. We only have a few dozen people here. It is not enough for them to eat. How can they only want our limbs?" Luo Fu and the other older generation understand man-eating devils quite well. Their few dozen people are not even enough to fill the gap between their teeth. Making them cut off their own limbs and send them over is just them looking for fun. At this moment, Qin Yun leisurely flew towards that divine demon leader. Sect Master Yun, what are you doing? Quickly come back. Luo Fu shouted. I will go over and have a chat with him, Qin Yun replied casually. He looked very calm and did not look like someone who was scared to the point of breaking his own limbs. Since Qin Yun was not a true three-eyed being, Luo Fu and company did not go over to stop him. Even they, the older generation, believed that it was worth it to sacrifice their limbs to preserve their lives. Sigh, even Elder Yun is in despair. Elder Yun's strength is not bad. Let's see if Elder Yun can succeed after giving us his hands and legs. The god-demon leader's silver hair fluttered in the wind. He looked like a hungry wolf as he stared at Qin Yun and said with a sinister smile, "This guy looks pretty good. His meat should be fresh and tender." Be it the 9 heavens divine demons or the 9 heavens divine race, they all thought that Qin Yun had lost all hope, so they did not guard against him at all. They really wanted to see others break their own limbs and send them to them. This would make them feel even more satisfied. Do you have a knife? Is your knife sharp enough? If you can't cut it in one strike, it won't be good if you cut it a few times and turn the meat to mush. The god-demon leader laughed heartily and said, I'll lend you a knife. Qin Yun has already arrived in front of the god-demon leader. He removed the blue chain from his neck and quickly attacked. The heaven-locking chain suddenly shot out like lightning and instantly pierced through the god-demon leader's neck. The god-demon leader's neck is covered with a blue crystal. It is used to protect his throat. However, Qin Yun's heaven-locking chain still pierced through. Through the heaven-locking chain, Qin Yun injected a large amount of suffering divine ability power into the god-demon leader's body. He also released vibration power to disperse the demonic power. All of this happened too quickly. No one expected that the sacred deity would leisurely fly in front of the Tao god-demon leader and then use a seemingly soft chain to pierce through the god-demon leader's throat. Qin Yun tugged with all his might, dragging the god-demon leader over as though he was dragging a dead dog. The god-demon leader let out an unpleasant and painful roar. With the chain pierced through his throat, it is very difficult for him to speak. He spat out blue blood from his mouth. Luo Fu and company were scared silly. To take down a god-demon leader like this, not only did one need strength, one also needed sufficient courage. The group of 9 heavens divine demons shouted angrily, but they could not charge over because they could see their leader in pain. After Qin Yun grabbed the god-demon leader, he tied him up with the heaven-locking chain and quickly flew back to Luo Fu and company. The 9 heavens divine race leader is very calm. He said coldly, "Foolish fellow, don't you know that 9 heavens divine demons cannot be killed? The 9 heavens divine demons are not afraid of you killing their leader." The group of 9 heavens divine demons wanted to charge over, but the god-demon leader shouted with great difficulty, Don't come over, he can kill me." Only the god-demon leader knew that Qin Yun could really kill him. A mere sacred deity, what's there to be afraid of? The 9 heavens divine race leader sneered and suddenly flashed over. His aura is astonishing. Divine power burst out from his body, causing Luo Fu and company to feel uncomfortable as they were sent flying backwards. The 9 heavens divine race leader wanted to use extreme speed to kill Qin Yun and save the god-demon leader. However, he underestimated Qin Yun's strength. Qin Yun only released supergravity and focused it on the 9 heavens divine race leader. It is as if there is an impact force from all directions and at the same time, they are all attacking the center point. The 9 heavens divine race leader is not weak. When he felt the supergravity pressing down on him, he immediately released his divine power to resist. He blocked Qin Yun's wave of supergravity attack. However, Qin Yun controlled the other end of the heaven-locking chain and shot it towards the 9 heavens divine race leader. The Nine Heavens divine race leader is only 10 meters away from Qin Yun. In an instant, his forehead was pierced by the heaven-locking chain and he screamed in pain. Qin Yun pulled the heaven-locking chain and pulled the Nine Heavens divine race leader over and tied him together with the god-demon leader. Are you hungry? I have the best way to make you never feel hungry. Qin Yun said with sneer. As long as you man-eating devils never feel anything, you will never feel hungry. After the soul scatters, there will be no feeling. You want to become enemies with us Nine Heavens divine demons and Nine Heavens divine race? Think about the consequences. The Nine Heavens divine race leader's forehead has been pierced, so he can still speak fluently. His tone is also very domineering and filled with threat. If you want to eat us, isn't it because no one has discovered us in this place? As long as this matter is not spread out, who will know? Qin Yun said with a smile. There are a few hundred of us. With just you guys, can you kill all of us? The leader of the Nine Heavens divine race said with a sneer. Luo Fu said, Sect Master Yun, don't be afraid of them. It's clearly them who want to eat us. Even if Divine King Jiang Xian and Heavenly Demon Divine King knew about this, they wouldn't be able to make things difficult for us. Our three-eyed Divine King will protect us. And Qin Yun nodded and then struck the Nine Heavens divine race leader's body with his palm. There was a loud bang. The power of the heavenly universe fire incantation poured into the leader's body, and the flames immediately surged. The Nine Heavens divine race's Tao God realm leader disappeared forever along with the explosion of the blue flames. The God demon leader is scared silly. The Nine Heavens divine race's Tao God, who was tied up with him, was actually blasted into dregs, just like that. The God demon leader also sensed the power of the flames and shouted in alarm. It's the heavenly law inheritance? You also know? Qin Yun chuckled and said, Then I'll let you experience it. Qin Yun struck again with his palm and used the heavenly universe fire incantation again. Moreover, he also added in the Nether Sun Totem's devouring power to block the divine demon race's Tao Meridian that absorbs the regenerative power. With another explosion, the God demon leader also exploded and the blue heavenly universe divine flame scattered in all directions. The two leaders were killed in just a few moves. Now it's the group of man-eating devils who are trembling in fear. Although Luo Fu and the others are scared out of their wits, they no longer tremble because Qin Yun is on their side. At this moment, they wish they could dig out a real eye and press it on Qin Yun so that Qin Yun will become their three-eyed person. Don't be afraid of them, we have a lot of people, a middle-aged man shouted from Nine Heavens divine race's side. Just as the middle-aged man finished shouting, Qin Yun used Divine King's spear to condense Imperial Heaven divine power and pierced his mouth, causing his head to explode. You bunch of trash, come at me if you have the guts. Qin Yun chuckled and looked at the group of Nine Heavens divine race people with disdain. He vigorously swung the heaven-locking chain in his hand. The heaven-locking chain suddenly became longer, like a blue dragon-shaped whip. It swept across and cut off a large number of Nine Heavens divine race people's bodies. Luo Fu and the others are so shocked that they can't close their mouths, their eyeballs almost popped out. Nine Heavens divine race is very tyrannical in God Desolate. There are not many people who dare to go against them. If they meet Nine Heavens divine race and Nine Heavens divine demons, even people from other god realms would have to take a detour. But now, Nine Heavens divine race people are like weeds in front of Qin Yun. With a powerful swing, a large number of them were cut off. Qin Yun is an ordinary person. He is the Nine Sun Palace King. He has the Divine King Heavenly Seal. It can be said that he is the only Divine King of God Desolate. It is understandable that people from other god realms are forced to come to God Desolate due to the destruction of their god realms. But since they came, they had to be well behaved. Doing evil in God Desolate, acting tyrannically and being met by Qin Yun, the only path left for them is death. Previously, Qin Yun felt stifled in his heart because of encountering the divine sun descendants. Now that he is facing these man-eating devils, he can finally do whatever he wants. With the release of the supergravity domain, the invisible gravity split into two, pressing down from top to bottom, squashing those 9 heavens divine race people whose bodies were cut off. Hoo. The pistol in Qin Yun's hand shot out dozens of bullets. They are flame bullets shot out from the heavenly universe fire incantation. After shooting over, it instantly formed a blue sea of fire. There are still more than 209 heavens divine demons alive. They can't escape. Qin Yun released a huge and majestic sacred tribulation gate. This is the Nether Sun Tribulation Gate. After the gate opened, a mass of black gas surged out. Chapter 24:20. The Sacred Tribulation Gate opened wide, black energy surged, and the 9 heaven divine demons let out mournful screams. The screams gradually became weaker until they disappeared. Only the aura of the 9 heaven divine race and 9 heaven divine demons remained. Hundreds of man-eater devils were killed just like that. Moreover, they were killed by a single person. Luo Fu and the other 3-eyed people's hair stood on end in shock. They already guessed that Qin Yun was an expert who hid his cultivation, and now they are even more certain. Bang! The sacred tribulation gate closed and returned to Qin Yun's body. Directly devouring those 9 heaven divine demons is the fastest way to deal with them. Although Qin Yun's nether sun has not become a sacred heavenly Tao image, it is still very powerful because of the sacred tribulation gate. Qin Yun returned to Luo Fu and the other's side. Those youngsters who managed to escape from death are now flattering Qin Yun. Thank you, Elder Yun. Elder Yun is invincible. Elder Yun is so handsome, and many other nice words. Luo Fu and the others are full of smiles. They thanked Qin Yun again, and asked if he was injured. Powerhouses were respected everywhere, especially powerhouses who could save people at critical moments. They were even more popular. You're welcome, we are all friends, Qin Yun said with smile. With Qin Yun here, Luo Fu and the others feel a lot more at ease. Even if they can't find the Heavenly Turtle Divine Ship, they feel that they can safely reach the second Divine Sunday. In the cheerful atmosphere, Qin Yun and the 3-eyed people continued flying towards the second Divine Sunday. Qin Yun wants to quickly understand the situation of the second Divine Sunday. It seems that a new powerful race has appeared in the 20th Myriad World's Divine Sunday. It is highly possible that they were born from the Myriad World's Divine Sun to suppress the Divine Sun descendants. Divine Sun descendants can't be killed, but it is possible to suppress them as long as one is strong enough. After flying for half a day, Luo Fu and the others suddenly stop. With their third eye, they saw a huge monster appear in front of them. What a huge thing! It can't be those Divine Sun heavenly beasts, right? Luo Fu said in shock. In this place, only Divine Sun heavenly beasts are huge. Qin Yun also opened his heavenly eye to take a look and saw that the huge monster is like a huge island. From the outline, it indeed looks like a Divine Sun heavenly beast. It's not a Divine Sun heavenly beast. It's the Heavenly Turtle Divine Ship. An old man suddenly yelled in surprise. We've finally found the Heavenly Turtle Divine Ship. Come on, let's hurry over. Luo Fu was also very happy. If he could board the Heavenly Turtle Divine Ship and travel to the second Divine Sun, he would be able to rest easy. That way, he wouldn't have to worry about being attacked by other powerful beings. In the gods' wasteland, there were more and more man-eater from the 9 heavens. The people of the other god realms were extremely afraid of this kind of man-eater. This was because the ogres wanted to eat powerful humans, especially those with special abilities. For example, the 3-eyed man was a delicacy in the eyes of the man-eater demon. Qin Yun was not averse to friendly beings from the divine world. If it was something like the ogres or other evil tyrants, then once they encountered them, they would be completely annihilated. The heavens god desolate was huge. It could produce a lot of resources and could accommodate a lot of people. Qin Yun had learned from Luo Fu and the others that the heavenly turtle people of the heavenly turtle divine realm were very friendly. They didn't have much offensive power, but their defenses were extremely powerful. Soon, they approached the heavenly turtle divine ship. The heavenly turtle divine ship was like a giant golden turtle. It was as big as a giant island, and it was flying quickly toward the second divine Sunday. After Luo Fu and the others approached the heavenly turtle divine ship, they shouted loudly and talked to the heavenly turtle people on the ship. Soon after, a bald old man flew out. This old man had a golden turtle shell on his back. He was short and stocky, with a long white beard and a pair of slender white eyebrows. He looked very kind. Luo Fu and the others lined up with this bald old man and signed a soul contract to ensure that they wouldn't cause trouble on the ship and that they weren't allowed to attack the heavenly turtle people in the future. Qin Yun did the same. He signed a soul contract with the old man and then boarded the heavenly turtle divine ship with Luo Fu and a few dozen others. The ship was very big, and there were many cabins inside. Qin Yun and the others were assigned to the side of the ship, where there was a large warehouse with windows. They could see the white mist outside. It was very quiet inside the heavenly turtle divine ship. It was a little slow, but it was very stable, giving people a very safe feeling. Qin Yun also closed his eyes to rest. He had fought so many man-eating demons and had expended a lot of energy. His nether son had devoured the 9 heavens demon gods, but he could only refine a little bit of energy. Luo Fu and the others also kept their mouths shut about Qin Yun killing a large number of man-eating demons. They wouldn't tell anyone else because it would lead to revenge from the Sky Demon Divine King or Divine King Jiang Xian. The hundreds of man-eating demons that had died before were a very good team in the hands of Divine King Jiang Xian and the Sky Demon Divine King. Such a large team had been killed, so they would definitely seek revenge. 2 days passed, and the heavenly turtle divine ship finally arrived at the second divine sun. Qin Yun followed Luo Fu and the others out. Before they went out, the heavenly turtle people had been warned by an old man that it was very hot outside and that they should be prepared. In the past 2 days, Qin Yun had used the Gemini treasure mirror to imprint many heavenly talismans that could resist the scorching heat for the 3-eyed people to use to protect themselves. Therefore, after they went out, they could easily land on the surface of the second divine Sunday. The surface of the second divine sun is the same as the 3 divine sun. It is also made of golden white crystal, emitting a very strong scorching light. If a sacred god realm person didn't have enough strength and protection, once they landed on the surface of the divine sun, they would definitely be burned and seriously injured. There are more than 1,000 heavenly turtle people who want to enter the second divine Sunday. After Qin Yun arrived, he discovered that the second divine sun and the 3 divine sun are somewhat different. The divine power released by the second divine sun is obviously stronger than the 3 divine Sunday. Moreover, it is filled with a kind of vigorous vitality. Unlike the lifeless 3 divine Sunday, Shao Yun, soil has just appeared in the core area of the 3 divine sun. It can be considered to have just matured. The core area of the second divine sun should have had soil for a long time and already gave birth to living beings. Ling Yuner said. Yang Yang said that it is very likely that divine sun fairies will appear in the core area of the 3 divine Sunday. Then, could it be that divine sun fairies will also appear in the second divine sun? Qin Yun felt that it was possible. The myriad realms divine sun would definitely create powerful lifeforms to protect the myriad realms divine sun and suppress the descendants of the divine sun. Qin Yun followed Luo Fu and others and landed on the ground. Then, he followed behind the 1,000+ Tian turtle people. A person was leading the way in front. That person looked like a normal human, but it was unknown if he was a living being within the second divine Yang realm. It seems like the Divine Sun's descendant has been suppressed. Qin Yun feels that this is a good thing. If the descendants of the Divine Sun grew too quickly, it would affect the myriad realms' Divine Suns. Back when Qin Yun was in the three Divine Suns, he entered the Divine Sun's interior through a teleportation array. In the second Divine Sun, one did not need a teleportation array to enter the interior. On the surface of the second Divine Sun, there was a crystal house that could accommodate hundreds of people. This house was very special. It could sneak into the platinum crystal on the surface of the Divine Yang and enter the Divine Yang. Now, hundreds of heavenly turtle people had entered the house and been sent into the Divine Sun. Qin Yun and company were in the third batch. Only 300 people could be sent into the Divine Yang at a time. The heavenly turtle people were divided into 3 groups and entered the Divine Sun one after another. Qin Yun and the dozens of three-eyed people were in the third group, together with some heavenly turtle people. On the way, Qin Yun learned that the mysterious powerful race inside the second Divine Sun did not invite the local powerful races of the Divine Desolate. The local powerful races of the Divine Desolate were the 9 Sun royal family and the Divine Moon clan, but they were not invited. Even the Divine Court of the Myriad Realms wasn't invited by that mysterious and powerful race. No one knew why. Those who were invited were all from other god realms. The 9 heavens divine demons and the 9 heavens divine race were all invited. In addition, there were the White Sun divine realm, the Golden Wing divine realm, the Flying Dragon divine realm, the Kunlun divine realm, and so on. The White Sun divine king is Suxin's father. It seems that father and daughter can meet again. Qin Yun was also puzzled. Why did the mysterious powerful race not invite the local races of the Divine Desolate? Could it be that they want to kill people from the divine realms? Ling Yun had a shocking idea. Definitely not. Qin Yun shook his head and said, most of the people invited are divine kings. These divine kings definitely know that the divine sun of their divine realm is about to be destroyed. This should be one of the things they have in common. That mysterious powerful race wants to understand the situation of the divine sun of the other divine realms? Ling Yun guessed. They want to understand the descendants of the divine sun of the other divine realms. It's extremely likely that this is the case. Qin Yun also thought so. He had previously asked Luo Fu and the others if they had heard of the descendants of the divine sun. Luo Fu and the others had never heard of it. It could be seen that the descendants of the Divine Sun were also very low-key and mysterious existences in the other divine realms. Many people did not know of them. Finally, it was Qin Yun and the others' turn to enter the large house. After more than 300 people entered, the house descended and soon stopped. When the door opened, a strong light shone in. Qin Yun and the others were filled with curiosity as they walked towards the door and then walked out in an orderly manner. After going out, Qin Yun felt somewhat surprised. The inside of the Divine Sun was extremely beautiful. It was filled with all kinds of 9-colored dreamy clouds floating in the air. Beneath his feet was a colorful lawn and all kinds of beautiful flowers were floating in the air. This kind of scene was everywhere in this space. It was as if they were in an illusory space. Qin Yun used his hand to grab a flower floating in the air and actually grabbed nothing. It's not a real flower. This is all an illusion. Qin Yun was alarmed. He secretly opened his heavenly eye, but he was still unable to see through this illusory illusion. Very strong mental power, it can actually affect my heavenly eye. As Qin Yun was shocked, the other 3-eyed people also exclaimed in surprise. Chapter 24-21. Qin Yun did not expect that the difference between second Divine Sun and 3 Divine Sun would be so great. It can be said that they are completely different. Especially now that he is inside this 9-colored illusion, he can feel a very cool and refreshing wind blowing over His whole body feels very comfortable. Qin Yun did not relax his vigilance because he is still worried that the mysterious race is a descendant of Divine Sunday. If it really is a descendant of Divine Sun, then he must be prepared. Qin Yun followed behind Luo Fu and others, walking on the colorful grass inside the nine-colored illusion. Three-eyed Divine King came in very early. Luo Fu took out a compass and went to look for Three-eyed Divine King. There is no one else inside the nine-colored illusion. The mysterious race did not show themselves. Qin Yun did not release his mental power to investigate because it is useless. This nine-colored illusion is inconceivably powerful. It is impossible to see through its true appearance. All of this is an illusion. The reason why it can achieve this effect is because there is a very strong mental power that can affect people's souls. Furthermore, the scene is formed by many special blood-spirit power. Qin Yun can only roughly guess the principle, but he is unable to create this kind of illusion. There is a nine heavens divine demon, Luo Fu said in deep voice, even though they entered the second divine Sunday. But when they heard about the nine heavens divine demon, the group of three-eyed divine world youngsters jumped in fright. It can be seen that the man-eater has left a deep shadow in their hearts. Don't be afraid of them, our divine kings are also here, Luo Fu said. Three-eyed divine world has a total of 3 divine kings. The strongest is Three-eyed Divine King. The other 2 Divine Kings are Scarlet-eyed Divine King and Fire-eyed Divine King. They did not come. Qin Yun did not say anything, he is secretly on guard. Not long after they walked, their eyes suddenly flashed and the surrounding scenery suddenly changed. They are still inside the 9-colored illusion, but now a 9-colored waterfall and many 9-colored mountain peaks have appeared. I wonder what's the situation inside the ancestral Divine Sun. After Qin Yun saw the 9-colored waterfall, he felt that it is somewhat similar to the core region of 3 Divine Sunday. After arriving here, they saw many people. In front of them is a very spacious 9-colored lawn. There are all kinds of strange-looking people standing in groups. They are all people from other divine realms. Heavenly Demon Divine King and Divine King Jiang Xian did not come. Qin Yun did not see these 2 divine kings. At this moment, Luo Fu was walking towards a tall and sturdy old man. The people there all had 3 eyes. Although that tall and sturdy old man was an old man, he was full of energy. He wore a cloak and held his upper body, revealing his strong muscles. The vertical eye on his forehead opened, giving off a feeling of sharpness, his gaze extremely sharp. It was obvious that this old man was the Three-eyed God King. When Luo Fu and the others saw the Three-eyed God King, they only went up to greet him before returning to their group. The Three-eyed God King didn't say anything else. Luo Fu and the others didn't mention that they had been attacked by the ogres. It wasn't the right place to talk about it. This was because the 9 heavens god demons and the 9 heavens god race were all present. Although their god kings were not here, there was still a powerful Shen Tian Lord leading a team. Qin Yun observed and discovered that only the Three-eyed Godly Monarch and the Heavenly Turtle Godly Monarch had come in person. The god kings of the other god realms did not come. They only sent Shen Tianjun over. The Heavenly Turtle Godly race has finally arrived. It was so hard to wait for them. These guys are really slow. The person who spoke has a pair of golden wings on his back. He is a person from the Golden Wing Divine World. Then we can begin now, the Three-eyed God King said. At this time, several hundred people suddenly appeared in the sky above the crowd. They look like very normal people. This group of people are all men, wearing elegant white blue gowns. Moreover, they are all bald. They slowly landed on the grassland. Qin Yun looked at this group of people and determined that they are not descendants of Divine Sunday. However, he discovered that their mental power is extremely strong and they have very powerful souls. Furthermore, there are 9 dots on their bald heads, arranged in 3 rows. Each row has 3 dots. It is a 9-colored round seal. Xiao Yun, these guys' souls are very strong. They are in no way weaker than the descendants of Divine Sun. Ling Yuner said. Qin Yun is secretly apprehensive. He suspects whether or not this group of people evolved from the descendants of Divine Sun. Or maybe Divine Sun referred to the descendants of Divine Sun and created a similar type of human to suppress the descendants of Divine Sunday. Everyone, thank you very much for honoring me by coming here. The bald middle-aged man who spoke sounded very polite. Who the hell are you? The person who asked is from the Golden Wing Divine World. He is not the least bit courteous. We are the illusion race. We are humans created by the 20th heaven Divine Sun. The bald middle-aged man's self-restraint is very good. He very gently replied. I am Elder Huan Guang. Illusion race. From the name, it is clear that they are very proficient in using illusion technique. Qin Yun carefully thought about it and felt that the illusion race is planning to use illusion techniques to capture the descendants of Divine Sunday. When the body of the descendants of Divine Sun is destroyed, only their souls remain. The souls of the descendants of Divine Sun have very strong penetrating power. They can easily pass through the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation and cannot be destroyed. If he created an illusion, then he could trap those souls in the illusion and then use other methods to slowly destroy those souls. Qin Yun also thinks that this is a good method, but it will consume a lot of time and energy. Why did you invite us here? More than 200 of us went missing on the way here. The old man from the Nine Heavens Divine Tribe snorted coldly. I suspect that the guy who killed more than 200 of us is hiding here. The old man from the Nine Heavens Demon Tribe also said coldly. More than 200 of our Nine Heavens Divine Demons died together with the people from the Nine Heavens Divine Tribe. The other divine realms are in an uproar. Someone who can kill hundreds of man-eating demons must be very strong. There are not many Divine Sun heavenly beasts here, and our people did not die near the Divine Sun, so we can rule out Divine Sun heavenly beasts. Then there is only one possibility. They were killed by someone who came along the same way. The old man from the Nine Heavens Divine Tribe looked at the people from the Heavenly Turtle Divine Realm. The Heavenly Turtle Divine Realm took so long to get here with a Heavenly Turtle Divine ship and the Godly King himself. We suspect that the Heavenly Turtle Divine Realm did it. The old man from the Nine Heavens Demon Tribe glared at the group of Heavenly Turtle people. Qin Yun and Luo Fu looked at each other in surprise. The Nine Heavens Demon Tribe and Nine Heavens God Tribe knew that hundreds of their people died, and even suspected the Heavenly Turtle people. The old man from the Nine Heavens God Tribe looked at the Illusion Tribe and shouted, Illusion Tribe, we came here to keep the appointment, but hundreds of our people died. Since you have a favor to ask of us, you must uphold justice for us and capture the culprit who killed hundreds of our people. There were also hundreds of Heavenly Turtle people present. Although they were gentle by nature, they couldn't help but feel angry at this moment. The old man from the Nine Heavens Demon Tribe said, Friends from the Illusion Tribe, help us capture all the Heavenly Turtle people and let us deal with them. Do this well and we will be willing to help you. The Nine Heavens God Tribe and the Nine Heavens Demon Tribe were very domineering. They also had their eyes on the Heavenly Turtle people. The Heavenly Turtle people never made enemies of others and were very patient. But now they hated these man-eating demons to the bone. The man-eating demons obviously wanted to eat the Heavenly Turtle people. Everyone knew that the Heavenly Turtle people were very strong and had extremely strong defenses. Their natural turtle shells were very hard and contained mysterious energy that could protect the bodies of the Heavenly Turtle people. Therefore, in the eyes of the man-eating demons, the Heavenly Turtle people were a great tonic. We didn't kill your people. The Heavenly Turtle Divine King shouted. The Heavenly Turtle Divine King was an amiable old man. The golden turtle shell on his back was also very bright and relatively large. Elder Mirage of the Illusion Tribe said, Friends from the Heavenly Turtle Divine Realm didn't do this. We can see that. How can you see that? The old man from the Nine Heavens demon tribe was very unconvinced. He said, "The heavenly turtle people killed hundreds of our divine monsters. Are you going to protect the heavenly turtle people? We can see if people are lying. The heavenly turtle divine king didn't lie just now." Elder Mirage said in a harmonious voice, "How about this? We will interrogate those who came here at the same time. They are suspicious people. We will know once we interrogate them." "Fine, if the illusion tribe can't find anything, then we will leave immediately. Don't even think of asking us to help you," the old man from the Nine Heavens demon tribe said very arrogantly, "and the heavenly turtle people will also be our enemies." Qin Yun knew that these man-eating demons definitely wouldn't help him out of the kindness of their hearts. They had only come to stir up trouble. Elder Mirage brought people to the heavenly turtle divine king's side. After understanding the situation, he walked over to the three-eyed divine king. In this beautiful nine-colored illusion, the atmosphere suddenly became a little strange. Luo Fu and the others were very nervous at this moment. Elder Mirage also learned that the heavenly turtle divine ship allowed Luo Fu and the others to board, so he wanted to ask Luo Fu. At this moment, Qin Yun took off the eye on his forehead and jumped out. He said, "There is no need to investigate. I am the one who killed those hundreds of man-eating demons." "Bastard, what did you say?" the old man from the Nine Heavens demon tribe said angrily. "Are you calling us man-eating demons? I am a human from the divine wilderness. I met Luo Fu and the others on the road and joined their team, but we were surrounded by hundreds of man-eating demons. They wanted to eat us." Qin Yun looked coldly at the old man from the Nine Heavens demon tribe. "He is not lying." Elder Mirage frowned and said, "Nine Heavens demon tribe, Nine Heavens demon tribe, it was your subordinates who ate humans first, so they were killed. That is pardonable." "Bullshit. This can't be done by this guy alone. That group of three-eyed people must have participated. Quickly hand them over or we will start a war," the old man from the Nine Heavens demon tribe said angrily. The Nine Heavens demon tribe also let out angry curses. It can be seen that they do not want to lose out. They must take down Qin Yun and Luo Fu. "No, I did it all by myself. If you don't believe me, if your Shin Tianjun doesn't want to go up, then let the Tao God Realm and Saint God Realm come, as many as you want, see how I kill them." Qin Yun sneered and said, "Just you group of man-eating demons, I can casually slap you to death. In my eyes, you are no different from weeds." Chapter 24-22. Nine Heaven Divine Race and Nine Heaven Demon Race are tyrannical in God Desolate, capturing people to eat. They completely treat God Desolate as the Nine Heavens. In the Nine Heavens, because there are no restrictions, there are no consequences for them to eat people. But it is different in God Desolate. They use this method to cultivate, killing innocents, creating a large amount of resentment, causing their evil energy to become denser and denser. One day, their soul will be corroded by evil and then they will become evil devils. In the end, they will only be courting death. When other people meet man-eating devils, it is too late to hide, they don't even dare to speak in front of them. And now Qin Yun is saying that these man-eating devils are as easy to deal with as weeds in his eyes. The illusion race had long heard of the Nine Heavens divine race and Nine Heavens demon race's notoriety. However, they still invited this group of people. This made Qin Yun very displeased. Furthermore, Three-Eyed Divine King clearly knows that his subordinates were besieged by man-eating devils and were almost eaten, but now he is completely indifferent. These people are so afraid of man-eating devils, this made Qin Yun despise them from the bottom of his heart. "No matter what, you admit that you killed hundreds of our compatriots, then you must repay this debt with blood." The old man from the Nine Heaven Divine Race sneered. "I don't believe that you can kill hundreds of experts by yourself." "Experts? They are not worthy," Qin Yun said coldly. "They are a group of man-eating devils. They are clearly the ones who want to eat people, can't we fight back? 9 Heaven Divine Race Old Man angrily rebuked. Shut up! Truly full of nonsense. Our 9 Heaven Divine Race is a very friendly race. It is because you God Desolate's local weaklings are jealous of our strength that you go around saying that we are man-eating devils. 9 Heaven Demon Race Middle-aged man also said coldly. Our 9 Heaven Demon Race is also a race that loves peace, but we are being maliciously slandered by the weak humans of God Desolate, saying that we are man-eating devils. At this time, 9 Heaven Divine Race and 9 Heaven Demon Race's side started complaining that people are spreading rumors that they are man-eating devils. Qin Yun's expression is gloomy. He secretly clenched his fist. He finally experienced how shameless these man-eating devils are. Luo Fu and company are also infuriated. He has repeatedly signaled Three-Eyed God King with his eyes and sent him a voice transmission, hoping that Three-Eyed God King would help Qin Yun. But the Three-Eyed God King did not react at all. Everyone from the divine world knew that the 9 Heavens Divine Race and the 9 Heavens Demon Race were man-eating demons, and they were certain that their people had been eaten before. However, because they didn't want to become enemies with the ogres, they pretended not to see it. As long as they didn't lose too many people, they wouldn't take it to heart. If they really became enemies with the ogres, they would lose even more people. Elder Mirage, this person personally admitted to killing hundreds of our compatriots. Now that he is in your territory, shouldn't you capture him and hand him over to us? The old man from the 9 Heaven Divine clan looked at Elder Huan Guang. The 9 Heavens Monstrous Race's middle-aged man said, Wait, this person wants to shoulder the responsibility alone. I don't believe that he alone can kill hundreds of our people. Qin Yun touched the blue chain hanging around his neck. He could attack at any time. Don't talk about hundreds of man-eating demons. Even if there were thousands, I would still kill them like weeds. Qin Yun laughed coldly. If you don't believe me, send out a Tao God Realm guy to fight with me. Weak human from the Heavens Divine Desolate. Don't think that just because the Heavens Divine Desolate is a powerful divine world, you can also become powerful. In our eyes, you are just an idiot. In our eyes, you humans from the Heavens Divine Desolate are just weak idiots. The old man from the 9 Heaven Divine Race laughed loudly and said. Qin Yun looked at Elder Huan Guang and asked, If you can tell if I am lying or not, then you will definitely believe me. Since their subordinates want to eat people, then what's wrong with me killing them? Your illusion race is truly a bunch of cowards. You are actually afraid of these man-eating demons. His words immediately caused the people from the illusion race to feel very unhappy. Because they are being scolded but they can't refute Qin Yun. Qin Yun said with a sneer. Illusion race, don't think that just because you are hiding, you won't be targeted by the man-eating demons. In the eyes of the man-eating demons, you are just a new dish. They will think of a way to capture your people, and then give it a good try. Damned bastard, shut up! The old man from the 9 Heaven Divine Race shouted furiously. He wanted to rush over but he did not make a move. After all, this is the territory of the illusion race and it is also within the Myriad Realms Divine Sunday. They all have to restrain themselves a bit to avoid dying here. Elder Huan Guang did not say a word because he did not know what to say. Of course he knew that Qin Yun was not lying but he could not offend the 9 Heaven Divine Race and the 9 Heaven Demon Race. Idiot of the Heavens Divine Desolate, you keep saying that you are not afraid of the Tao God Realm, then let me exchange a few moves with you. A young and handsome man suddenly walked out from the 9 Heaven Divine Race's side. Seeing this man walk out, someone laughed and said, Jiang Fengji, you are the grandson of Divine King Jiang Xian. How many moves do you need to deal with a fool of the Divine Desolate Saint God Realm? You can kill him in one move with a single finger. Don't kill him, this guy has to be captured alive and brought back to be imprisoned, someone reminded. Actually, it was to capture him and bring him back to eat. Everyone also made way for a large empty space and surrounded them, waiting for them to start fighting. Divine King Jiangxian's grandson? Qin Yun found it somewhat funny. Divine King Jiangxian's son had been killed by him before, yet his grandson was here to fight. That was really just a few moves. There are no rules in the Divine Desolate. In the Divine Desolate, the stronger one is, the more one can grasp the rules. Even if you are right, you do not have the strength, so you can only admit your mistake. Elder Huan Guang said, "This situation is really helpless. But I feel that this is also very fair. After all, in order to pursue strength, one must use it to ensure that one is right. There's nothing wrong with that. A coward is a coward, stop quibbling," Qin Yun said with a sneer. "Wait until the day you enter the stomach of the man-eating demon. If you can still say such words, then I will truly admire you. If you continue to slander us as man-eating demons, I will make you suffer a fate worse than death." Jiang Fengji shouted angrily. His footsteps were like thunder as he rushed towards Qin Yun. Jiang Fengji's entire body is like a berserk lightning beast. His body flickered with lightning. His aura is like thunder. Every step he took, thunder rumbled continuously. Just the way he attacked made many of the divine monarchs present secretly praise him. The other young Dao gods and Saint God realm experts are all extremely envious. As expected of the grandson of divine King Jiangxian. Just this kind of attack makes me, an old Dao god, feel ashamed of my inferiority. An old man praised. Divine King Jiangxian is indeed a powerful divine king. The grandson he nurtured is indeed different. Jiang Fengji should still be holding back. Otherwise this battle would not be worth watching. He ran around that idiot. He probably wanted to scare that idiot into peeing his pants. Let us see the joke of an idiot peeing his pants. Ha ha ha. That idiot is so scared that he doesn't dare to move. Many of the spectating elders are discussing spiritedly from the side. Only Luo Fu and the others know that Jiang Fengji is about to die. Jiang Fengji ran around Qin Yun, dragging a long lightning shadow behind him. It is as if a very violent lightning ring has surrounded Qin Yun. Weeds are weeds, they don't take the battle seriously and always want to show off. Qin Yun sneered. His 2 fingers suddenly surged with blue light. That is Imperial Heaven Divine Power. Qin Yun used his Imperial Heaven Divine Power to cast the Heaven-Severing 9 Fingers Heaven-Severing Finger. It allowed him to condense a thin blade of light through his fingers. The blade of light could become very long and could easily slice through all kinds of hard objects. After his finger condensed the light blade, he swept it towards the ring. Jiang Fengji, who was running around madly, suddenly stopped. His body was actually cut into 2 from his waist. The 2 pieces of his body fell to the ground. All of this caused people to be unable to react for a moment. They are unable to accept the fact that Jiang Fengji has been cut in half at the waist. "Running around me like a monkey," he said. This is truly stupid." "Stupid? You are the stupid one." Qin Yun jumped over. His feet landed on the ground. His heaven-trampling divine boots emitted incomparably hot flame and stepped on Jiang Fengji's body. Boom! Qin Yun stepped on an incomparably fierce flame. The flame spread out in all directions like a huge ripple. Jiang Fengji has disappeared forever just like that. Being cut in half at the waist and then burned, this is the fate of weeds. Human-eating devil is inferior to weeds. Weeds have been burned, but at least they still have roots. This guy has nothing left. Qin Yun's voice is filled with incomparable contempt. 3-eyed Divine King, Elder Mirage, Heavenly Turtle Divine King, and other Divine Heaven Monarchs' pupils shrank in shock. A sacred god realm can actually easily kill a powerful young Dao god like Jiang Fengji. Furthermore, the flame Qin Yun released earlier is very strong, so strong that people can't tell what kind of flame it is condensed from divine power. Qin Yun has 10 images. His 10 images are condensed from divine power. Naturally, it is very difficult to tell. He killed divine King Jiangxian's grandson. 9 Heaven Divine Race's old man is also incomparably shocked. He shouted, "Illusion race, you must capture this person. Divine King Jiangxian's grandson was killed here. Your responsibility is not small." Elder Mirage cursed in his heart. It was clearly Jiang Fengji who was courting death. "All right, if you are not going to attack, then we will." 9 Heaven Divine Race's side has already made their preparations. "Capture him." 9 Heaven Demon Race's side also shouted. "Human-eating devil, just you wait. Qin Yun will definitely kill all of you one day." Qin Yun's body suddenly disappeared, leaving only his voice reverberating in the surroundings. Everyone's body trembled again. Qin Yun said a lot of words just now, but the 2 words, Qin Yun, is especially shocking to them. That is the person with the 10 images of divine desolate. Qin Yun is the 9 Yang Palace King. He holds the Divine King Heavenly Seal of Divine Desolate. He has never been afraid of 9 Heaven Divine Race and 9 Heaven Demon Race. Moreover, he has killed many experts of the 2 races, so he is very famous. Chapter 24-23. After Qin Yun killed Jiang Fengji, he immediately used the Void Step and left. He was not greedy, or else he would not be able to escape if he was surrounded by many Shen Tianjun. Furthermore, this place was the territory of the illusion race. It was an illusion. Qin Yun was not familiar with this kind of illusion, so he had to leave as soon as possible so that he could buy more time to get rid of this illusion. The death of Jiang Fengji was enough to intimidate the 9 Heaven Divine Race. During this period of time, the emperors of the 9 heavens have been saying that Qin Yun was a tool, so Shen Tianjun of the 9 Heaven Divine Race and the other higher-ups of the God world all knew about this. Even so, many people still felt that Qin Yun was a great threat. Especially now, the other people of the God world all saw Qin Yun's ability. A Saint God Realm cultivator charged into this place alone, killed Jiang Fengji in front of so many people of the 9 Heaven Divine Race, and escaped unscathed. The faces of the illusion race people turned ugly, because Qin Yun had run away from their territory. Illusion race, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and capture that bastard. The old man of the 9 Heaven Divine Race shouted angrily when he saw that Elder Huan Guang and the others were still standing there. If you want to capture him, go capture him. Elder Huan Guang was also very angry. He had originally invited the 9 Heaven Divine Race and the 9 Heaven Demon Race over to discuss something. But now that something like this had happened, there was no way to discuss it. Moreover, the attitude of the 9 Heaven Divine Race and the 9 Heaven Demon Race was too bad. They did not give the illusion race any face. Three-Eyed God King said in a low voice. The emperors of the 9 heavens said that he would most likely die after entering the 3rd Myriad World Divine Sunday. He is actually still alive. Luo Fu and the others were also silent. Qin Yun had given them a very good impression. After all, he had saved their lives. Moreover, he was a very good person and did not put on any airs. During the time that Qin Yun had spent with them, the charisma he had displayed had conquered Luo Fu and the others, making them want to rely on Qin Yun. Isn't this your territory? Where can Qin Yun run to? The middle-aged man of the 9 Heaven Demon Race shouted. That guy killed hundreds of our people and is our great enemy. Your illusion race must help us capture him. Elder Mirage ordered people to track down Qin Yun. Furthermore, he exhorted his subordinates not to attack Qin Yun if they discovered him. Instead, they were to maintain a distance. There was no need to doubt Qin Yun's strength. He was able to beat up Jiang Fengji, who was at the Tao God Realm. If Qin Yun stepped into the Tao God Realm, those heavenly lords would not be able to sleep well. After Qin Yun fled far away, he immediately let Yang Yang out. Yang Yang, I'm being hunted down. Do you know how to enter the core region of the myriad realms divine sun? Qin Yun carried Yang Yang on his back and quickly fled. This is the nine-colored fantasy realm. Yang Yang looked at the beautiful nine-colored scenery around him and said, when the sun grows to a certain stage, the outer region will have different scenes according to the creatures created by the sun. Yang Yang pointed in a direction and said, Brother, run over there. There's a teleportation array over there. Qin Yun heaved a sigh of relief. As long as Yang Yang knew how to enter the core region, he would be safe. The divine sun is similar to the sun. Therefore, the illusion race was created and the nine-colored illusory realm was created? Asked Qin Yun. And the illusion race is a race with very strong mental power. Yang Yang said, Brother, did you meet them? Chased by them? Impossible, they are not scoundrels. It's a long story. They are not scoundrels but cowards. Qin Yun carried Yang Yang on his back and flew through the nine-colored fantasy realm. At the same time, he opened his heavenly eye. At this time, he sensed that many people are approaching, as well as a strong mental power wave. It's the illusion race. Yang Yang said in low voice, Brother, they are using their mental power to search for you. Qin Yun is not afraid because he can reach the teleportation array very soon. Yang Yang, the construction of the second divine sun's core region should be more or less done. Do you think there are other humans inside? Qin Yun asked. Could there be illusion race? It is impossible for there to be only one race created by the divine sun. It is very likely that there are several races. They are mainly used to protect the myriad realms' divine sun and suppress the descendants of the divine sun. The illusion race is not from the core region. The core region is generally inhabited by elves, dragon race and fire race. Yang Yang said. Dragon race? Qin Yun is somewhat surprised. If there is a dragon race in the core region, then it must be a very powerful sun dragon. The sun dragon totem Qin Yun obtained before is very likely because of this. And there might be a dragon race in the core region of the ancestral god sun. Big brother, don't worry, as long as I am here, no one will dare to bully you in the core region. Yang Yang said. What about the illusion race in the outer region? Are they afraid of you? Qin Yun ran frantically and sensed more and more mental power wave appearing. Of course they are not afraid of me, because with their level, they are not qualified to know of my existence. Yang Yang delicately groaned and said, If I have the chance, I will let them see my power. Very soon, Qin Yun arrived at the teleportation array. Strangely, Qin Yun's heavenly eye cannot see through the nine-colored fantasy realm, but he can see the mysterious teleportation array on the ground. After Qin Yun entered the teleportation array, he activated it just like he did when he was in the second divine Sunday. At this time, a voice echoed out, Qin Yun, cooperate with us, we can protect you. The one who spoke is Elder Huan Guang. Why should I cooperate with you? Qin Yun still needs some time to activate the teleportation array. You are a very capable person. If you stay, we will help you resolve the conflict with 9 heaven divine race and 9 heaven demon race. As long as you hand over the divine king heavenly seal to them, our illusion race can guarantee your safety. Elder Huan Guang said. Qin Yun cannot help but laugh loudly and said, Illusion race? Do you really think your face is that big? Resolve conflict? Impossible. Why not? As long as you hand over the Divine King heavenly seal, it will be fine. You should know that you should not have the Divine King heavenly seal. Elder Huan Guang let out a long sigh and said, Only by doing this can you survive. You are a rare genius, you must cherish your life. I should not have the Divine King heavenly seal? It seems like you don't know anything about the Divine King heavenly seal. Qin Yun said with sneer. I don't want to talk to you. In short, I will not give up on the Divine King heavenly seal. Also, help me tell those ogres that I will go and cause trouble for them very soon. After Qin Yun finished speaking, he activated the teleportation array. In the blink of an eye, Qin Yun disappeared from the 9-colored illusion realm. After Qin Yun disappeared, Elder Huan Guang cannot help but cry out in alarm. What happened? Why did he suddenly disappear? This is impossible. How can someone escape from the 9-colored illusion realm? Elder, just now, it seems like there was movement from the teleportation array. Teleportation array, could it be that teleportation array? Teleportation array that leads to the core region? A group of illusion race people are extremely shocked. Of course they know about the core region, they also know that there is a mysterious teleportation array that leads to the core region. However, even if they found that teleportation array, it would be very difficult to open it. Qin Yun finally left the 9-colored illusion realm and arrived at the core region. The core region of the second god sun is very similar to the three-god Sunday. It can be said that the growth of the second god sun's core region is only faster than the three-god sun's core region. When Qin Yun and Yang Yang were in the three-god sun, they saw the appearance of the 9-colored waterfall. After the 9-colored spring water flowed down, it formed a large piece of land. Within the second god sun, the earth has already appeared. Above the huge fireball above the center, 9 huge 9-colored rivers appeared. This huge fireball is the core of the god sun. It looks like a sun from a long time ago. There is a huge fountain at the top. It is as shocking as a volcanic eruption. The core region is empty, the ground is very flat, and there are no races here. There are no living beings here. It seems like this god sun is still very young. There must be living beings inside the ancestor god sun. Yang Yang giggled, flew above the huge fireball, and began playing on top of the 9-colored waterfall. Qin Yun took a deep breath. After resting for a while, he released mental nether moon, concentrated his mental power, and entered the huge fireball. Yuelon! Yuelon! Qin Yun called out to Xiao Yuelon. He used this method to contact Lu Yushuyen before. Lu Yushuyen said that after she entered the core region, she fell into a deep slumber because she was too bored. She heard Qin Yun calling her very early on, but she thought it was a dream, so she did not wake up immediately and let Qin Yun call her for a long time. And now, Xiao Yuelon seems to have woken up very quickly. Qin Yun only shouted for a while, and then he heard Xiao Yuelon's pleasantly surprised voice. Xiao Yun? Little husband, is it really you? How did you find me? Great, great! Xiao Yuelon very happily shouted. Big sister Yuelon, big sister Yuelon. When Yang Yang heard Xiao Yuelon's voice, she also sweetly shouted. Yang Yang? So you brought Xiao Yun here, no wonder. Xiao Yuelon said with smile. Thank you. You're welcome. Yang Yang said with smile. Big sister Yuelon, I will continue playing, I won't disturb you and little husband. This little girl. Xiao Yuelon giggled. Qin Yun also released Mo, Little Ant Queen and Little Jade Rabbit, and let Yang Yang play with them. Yuelon, I went to Sister Shuyen's place before. Qin Yun said. Did she tell you about the divine sun descendants? Xiao Yuelon asked. There should be many divine sun descendants of the 3 divine suns, right? Those divine sun descendants are truly terrifying. Qin Yun explained the process in detail. Xiao Yun, release your divine king heavenly seal. I will help you refine it and brand it with the second divine sun's imprint. Xiao Yuelon said. Qin Yun released the divine king heavenly seal and let it enter the gigantic fireball. Yuelon, did you already know that I am a tool? Qin Yun asked. You should have asked Big Sister Master, right? Don't take it to heart. Xiao Yuelon giggled and said, Don't you know what kind of feelings we have for each other? Let me tell you, there are no tools in this world. You are you. Qin Yun said with smile. Yuelon, since you said that, I am even more relieved. Chapter 24-24. Xiao Yuelon and Lu Yushuyen are the same. They still don't know the specific situation after the outer fringe realm. They also don't know how long it will take for them to reach the outer fringe realm. All they knew was that they would be able to improve greatly in the Divine Sun core. This kind of improvement would bring them great benefits. Xiao Yun, when we come out of the outer fringe, there will be more and more things to do. Xiao Yuan sighed lightly and said, "At that time, I won't be able to accompany you often. It's all right. Didn't you say that you would bring me along to complete goddess mission? You must remember to bring me along," Qin Yun said with smile. "If possible, I will definitely bring you along," Xiao Yuan said with a smile. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuan didn't talk about the Empyreans again because it involves too many things. There are many things that Xiao Yuan doesn't know about. Very soon, Xiao Yuan helped Qin Yun refine the Divine King Heavenly Seal and branded it with the second Divine Sun mark. The second Divine Sun has yet to fully mature, so I can't borrow much power through the God King Heavenly Seal for the time being, Xiao Yuan said. Only if you can master a method to restrain the descendants of the Divine Sun will the myriad realms' Divine Sun be willing to lend you its divine power. Regardless, the godly monarch Heaven Seal's potential is immense. He secretly tested it and discovered that after the Divine King Heavenly Seal was refined by Xiao Yuan, its divine power has increased. Now, we just have to wait for you to figure out a way to restrain the descendants of the Divine Sun God, Xiao Yuan said. In short, whether it is our 9 Sun Divine Maiden or the 9 Heavens Divine Maiden, we are unable to find a way to restrain the descendants of the Divine Sun. What about the other divine worlds? Qin Yun asked. Then, he mentioned the illusion race's invitation to the other divine world. I don't think the illusion race can do anything about it, so they plan to collect more information on how to fight against the descendants of the Sun God, or learn from them. There are descendants of the Divine Sun in every divine realm, but they can only move within the Divine Sun. Only the strongest people in the divine realm know of the existence of the Divine Sun's descendants, Xiao Yuan said. So the illusion race is looking for a way to restrain the descendants of the Divine Sun. Could it be that they think that the 9 Heavens Divine Race and the 9 Heavens Demon Race are very experienced in this aspect, which is why they are so tolerant towards these ogres? Qin Yun finally understood why the illusion race wanted to invite the group of ogres. In the eyes of the illusion race, whether or not the man-eater demon ate humans had nothing to do with them. This was because the illusion race had been created to destroy the descendants of the God Sun. As long as they could destroy the descendant of the Divine Sun God, the illusion race would do anything, not to mention allying with the group of man-eating demons. Xiao Yun, the myriad realms' Divine Sun, created many races for development. Not only is it to eliminate the descendants of the Divine Sun, it is also to protect the Divine Sun and maintain the order of the Divine Desolate. Xiao Yuan said. Yuan, can you contact Yumei now? Qin Yun asked. How is her situation? Xiao Yumei is inside the Ancestor God Sun, and the situation inside the Ancestor God Sun is certainly different from Second God Sun and 3 God Sunday. The ancestral God Sun was a myriad realms Divine Sun that had appeared a long time ago, and it was a fusion of many ancient suns. There were definitely many descendants of the God Sun in the ancestor God Sun, because the descendants of the God Sun had already appeared when the ancient God Sun was still alive. She must be sleeping. It's too far away, so I can't wake her up. Xiao Yuan smiled and said, Go over and wake her up. Qin Yun is still somewhat reluctant to part with Xiao Yuan. After Qin Yun leaves, Xiao Yuan will continue sleeping. She won't feel bored while sleeping. Qin Yun originally wanted to enter the huge fireball, but Xiao Yuan said that other than her, no one can enter. If he forced his way in, it would be very dangerous. Yang, quickly come back and prepare to set off for the ancestor God Sun, Qin Yun said with a smile. Yang Yang immediately brought the few cute little guys back to Qin Yun's 9 Sun Divine Spirit. Speaking of which, it is strange. After Qin Yun entered the core region of the Divine Sun, the 9 Sun Divine Spirit did not have any reaction. According to Xiao Yuelan, the 9 Sun Divine Spirit is completely Qin Yun's own. Its relationship with the Divine Sun is not very close, but it is still somewhat related. As for how it will develop in the future, no one knows. In short, if Qin Yun's 9 Sun Divine Spirit also has a Divine Sun, it will definitely be very powerful in the future. Xiao Yuelan controlled the energy of the Divine Sun core and opened a spatial door above Qin Yun. Xiao Yun, go over after you become invisible. Maybe a race has already been born inside the ancestor god's sun. Xiao Yuelan said, after you get there, try your best not to come into contact with those races to avoid conflict. What kind of race will there be in the core region of the ancestor god's sun? Qin Yun is suddenly very curious. Now he has completely concealed his aura. Most likely Sun Dragon, Xiao Yuelan said. If it's the Sun Dragon race, you must remember, try your best not to come into contact with them. Otherwise, with their bad temper, it will be very easy for them to fight with you. Really? The temper of the Sun Dragon race is very fiery? Qin Yun is already flying towards the spatial door in the sky. According to my understanding, the Sun Dragon race is like this. Of course, their nature is not bad, it's just that their temper is bad and they are rather crude. Xiao Yuelan said with smile. Xiao Yun, after you get there, send my regards to Uma. Qin Yun has already entered the spatial door. In the blink of an eye, he arrived at the core region of the ancestor god's sun. This way, he won't need to travel a long distance to reach the ancestor god's sun. He can save a lot of time. Qin Yun directly arrived at the core region of the ancestor god Sunday. This core region is similar to the second god sun. It has already formed a large piece of land. The huge sun-like fireball in the center is the core. A large amount of 9-colored spring water gushed out from the top of the core, forming 4 huge rivers. Then they slid down and turned into 9-colored waterfalls. The spring water moistened the soil and filled the soil with divine power. The core region of the ancestor god sun is somewhat different from the second god Sunday. There are already many towering mountains here. Those mountains are far away from the huge fireball in the center. When Qin Yun looked at those mountains, he suddenly heard a dragon roar. Sure enough, a sun dragon has appeared. Qin Yun is right beside the core. This place is still very flat, there are no tall mountains and there are no sun dragons here. Sun dragons shouldn't dare to approach, Ling Yuner said with smile. There must be some kind of taboo near the core that prevents those races from approaching. That's good. Qin Yun doesn't want to come into contact with the sun dragon race. If a conflict really occurs, it will not be easy to deal with. After all, those races were created by the myriad realms divine Sunday. Not only they are used to fight against the descendants of the divine sun, they might even be able to descend into the divine desolate and help the myriad realms divine court maintain the order of the divine desolate. Qin Yun did not release Yang Yang this time. Just like before, he sent his formidable mental power into the divine sun to call out to Xiao Yueme. Yueme! Yueme! Qin Yun sent his mental power into the huge core and called out to Xiao Yueme. This time it is not as fast as calling Xiao Yuelan, but Qin Yun is very patient. When he called Lu Yushuyan, it took him a very long time. Qin Yun spent several hours before he heard Xiao Yueme's voice. Brother? Is that you? Why did you appear in my dream again? Do you want to pinch my face? Xiao Yueme's voice came out, sometimes loud and sometimes small. It can be seen that she is still in a half-asleep and half-awake state. Tian Yu Shinji, quickly wake up. I just roasted a big cow. If you don't wake up, Yang Yang will eat it all. Qin Yun said with smile. Ah! Xiao Yueme suddenly woke up and shouted in alarm. Brother? Is it really you? Of course it's me, it was Yuelon who sent me here. You are sleeping like a log. Qin Yun said with smile. What a pity, I can't go in and find you now, I haven't pinched your face for a very long time. Xiao Yuemei giggled and said, Brother, you finally came. I thought you would take a very long time to come here. I underestimated you. Little girl, how can you underestimate me? Qin Yun shook his head and smiled, then took out Divine King Heavenly Seal and said, Quickly help me refine Divine King Heavenly Seal. Alright. Xiao Yuemei is very happy and promptly stored the Divine King Heavenly Seal inside the core. Yuemei, I really did not expect you to be Tian Yuxinji. Qin Yun said with smile. I thought you were just making things up. I really did not expect you to be so awesome. A3. A real man doesn't boast about his past glory. Then again, the current me is not necessarily worse than before. Xiao Yuemei said with mischievous smile. Actually, I don't remember much about my past experiences, I only have a very vague memory. Just treat it as me bragging. Yuemei, you are the big sister of 9 Sun Divine Maiden, you should know a lot of things, right? Qin Yun suddenly asked in a very serious manner. Xiao Yuemei said in low voice. Brother, do you know something? I know a lot of things. Qin Yun told her about his encounter with heavenly venerables, as well as the matter of Divine Sun's descendant. Brother, don't take the matter of being a tool to heart. That heavenly venerables is not even qualified to carry your shoes. Xiao Yuemei said in a very heroic tone. After I leave, I will bring you to find that bastard and properly beat him up. He actually wants to kill my brother to confirm his Tao. I will kill him. I knew that Yuemei would help me a lot, Qin Yun said with gratified smile. Of course. What bullshit, Emperor. I will kill him with a backhand slap. He still wants to steal Divine King Heavenly Seal. He is not qualified. Xiao Yuemei seems to be looking down on that heavenly venerables. Yuemei, do you know who created me? Qin Yun asked. I'm not too clear about this. Little sister Yu Tian should know, she is now the palace master of the Heaven Creation Divine Palace. Your birth is related to the Heaven Creation Divine Palace. Xiao Yuemei said. The Heaven Creation Divine Palace is even more mysterious now, it is related to the ancient Desolate. After Yu Tian became the palace master of Heaven Creation Divine Palace, she met with Qin Yun and told him some news. Later on, Heaven Creation Divine Palace became very low-key and did not send too many people to participate in those major events. Now that Qin Yun heard Xiao Yuemei's words, he feels that Heaven Creation Divine Palace is most likely a hidden super strong faction. Chapter 24-25. Qin Yun previously thought that sun dragons could not approach this place. He thought that this is a forbidden area. Now that he knows that sun dragons are here, he immediately became very vigilant. Yuemei, are those sun dragons very strong? Qin Yun promptly concealed himself and retracted his aura. They are quite strong, don't worry, I am here. Xiao Yuemei said. Not long after, several middle-aged men appeared. These middle-aged men are all wearing fiery red battle armor, holding dragon head sabers in their hands. Their aura is overbearing. Their aura is very strong. Qin Yun cannot tell if they are divine heavenly monarch or powerful Tao God realm expert. In short, this kind of powerful sun dragons cannot be judged with ordinary eyes. Furthermore, they must have powerful bodies and can use divine sun power. Their strength must be unfathomable. After those middle-aged men rushed over, they very carefully and vigilantly dispersed, their hands tightly gripping large sabers. What business do you have here? Xiao Yuemei's voice came out from the core. Divine Daughter, we sensed a spatial fluctuation here. After our discussion, we confirmed that a spatial passage has been opened. A middle-aged man said. I was the one who did it, it's fine, you can go back. Xiao Yuemei indifferently said, You all performed very well, your reaction was very timely, you should indeed do this. It's good that nothing happened, we will leave now. These middle-aged men only came to take a look and then immediately left. They are very respectful towards Xiao Yueme. After they left, Qin Yun let out a sigh of relief. Yueme, they really listened to you. Qin Yun said. Sun dragons are pretty good, they are just a bit careless. You have been here for so long, they finally decided to come and take a look. Xiao Yueme said with smile. Before I came, Yuelon warned me not to have any conflict with the sun dragons. Qin Yun said. Actually, she doesn't need to be so worried. Xiao Yueme said solemnly. Brother, big sister really needs to warn you. If you meet the sun dragons here and I haven't woken up, it will be very dangerous for you to clash with them. That's right, just now those few people's stance was very scary. Qin Yun estimated the strength of those few middle-aged men. Even if they faced a large number of divine sun descendants, they would definitely be able to escape unscathed. There are many divine sun descendants of ancestor divine sun. Originally, they were all blocked in one place, but in the end, they couldn't stop them, and the Nine Heavens divine race was useless, so they could only let the Nine Heavens divine race leave. Xiao Yueme sighed and said, There are many divine sun descendants in the outer region. Moreover, they are very strong. Hearing Xiao Yueme's words, Qin Yun cannot help but worry. Zhu Shenyang's situation was obviously the most serious. If a descendant of the divine sun enters, wouldn't that mean that the ancestral divine sun will fall? Qin Yun was very worried. It won't fall immediately, but it will enter a long period of chaos. The sun dragon will stop them. Xiao Yueme said, The creatures in the core region are all very powerful. They can suppress divine sun descendants for a very long time, but they are unable to kill them. What about the outer regions? Are there any other living beings? There are illusion race in the outer region of second divine sun. Qin Yun said. The environment of the second god sun is more relaxed. There are not many descendants of the god sun there, so there is room for the illusion race to grow. The outer region of the ancestral god sun is not possible. There is no time to create other living beings to fight against the divine sun descendants. Xiao Yueme lightly sighed and said, In short, if there is no way to exterminate the divine sun descendants, then we will have to deal with them. In the end, the divine sun will walk towards destruction. Qin Yun immediately felt a very heavy pressure in his heart. Divine sun descendants are very difficult to kill. His creating soul heavenly cauldron has sealed the souls of a few divine sun descendants. Until now, he has not thought of a way to completely destroy those souls. Xiao Yueme also knows that Qin Yun's pressure is not small. She said with gentle smile, Brother, don't feel too much pressure. Take your time. Wait for me to come out of the outer region. I will think of a way to thoroughly exterminate the divine sun descendants with you. I believe you will succeed. Xiao Yueme is not blindly trusting Qin Yun. Rather, she has been following Qin Yun for so many years. She knows that with Qin Yun's perception, he can always accomplish things that others think are impossible. For example, when creating inscription spirits, she and Qin Yun can create many rare inscription spirits. They can even trigger heavenly tribulation. Alright, I will wait for you to come out. With the help of smart Yueme, I will surely be able to succeed even more smoothly. Qin Yun said with smile. Xiao Yueme is very happy to be able to talk with Qin Yun. She very quickly finished refining the Divine King Heavenly Seal and sent it to Qin Yun. After Qin Yun received the Divine King Heavenly Seal, he sensed that the divine power released by the Heavenly Seal is much stronger than before. Refining the Divine King Heavenly Seal inside the inner core is very useful. Divine King Heavenly Seal is nearing completion. Xiao Yueme said. Divine King Heavenly Seal needs this kind of method to become complete. I didn't know about it before. Qin Yun feels that this is very mystical. He said with smile. Who made the rule that it needs to be completed in this way? Heavenly Rule Tao tradition? Of course not. Divine King Heavenly Seal changes according to Divine Desolate and Myriad Worlds Divine Sunday. If you can push the Divine King Heavenly Seal to change, you will be the true master of the Heavenly Seal. Nobody can take it away from you, Xiao Yuemei said. Qin Yun stored the Divine King Heavenly Seal. Now he is even less afraid of Heavenly Venerables, because the Divine King Heavenly Seal does not belong to Heavenly Venerables. Brother, I will send you out. Although Xiao Yuemei is very reluctant to part with Qin Yun, it is not appropriate to leave him here. Moreover, she still needs to cultivate in peace. Just as Xiao Yuemei was about to send Qin Yun out, several powerful auras suddenly rushed over. Sun Dragon is here. Qin Yun's heart trembled. Xiao Yuemei also yelled in alarm. Why did you come back? After these few middle-aged men suddenly appeared, they surrounded Qin Yun in the middle. The scorching aura from their bodies brought Qin Yun a great deal of pressure. Divine Daughter, is this the person chosen by Divine Sun? One middle-aged man stared at Qin Yun, his gaze is filled with sharp aura. Yes, 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 he has the Divine King Heavenly Seal. Don't make things difficult for him, Xiao Yuemei hastily said. Divine Daughter, it seems like you approve of him? Another middle-aged man said. Of course I approve of him. Could it be that you don't approve of him? Xiao Yuemei said. The middle-aged man is the most tall and sturdy, his aura is also the strongest. He released divine power and enveloped Qin Yun's body, causing him to feel a tearing pain. This middle-aged man is a divine heaven monarch. I, Sun Dragon Lingyu, believe that he is not suitable. That middle-aged man stared at Qin Yun. His eyes are filled with arrogance. Sun Dragon's surname is 2 characters. Surname is Yang Long. This Yang Long Lingyu seems to have some status. After all, he is a divine heaven monarch. The other 4 middle-aged men also have the same expression. Because in their eyes, Qin Yun is just a human and his cultivation is so low, yet Myriad Realms' Divine Sun has placed such high hopes on him. Their Sun Dragon race is very clear about the significance of the Divine King Heavenly Seal. In the future, it will be able to summon all kinds of powerful races within the 9 suns. It doesn't matter if you approve or not, the Divine King Heavenly Seal is in his hands. Moreover, the Divine King Heavenly Seal is also growing and evolving because of him. Xiao Yuemei's voice became somewhat cold. If you want to make things difficult for him, then don't blame me for being impolite. Divine Daughter, we won't make things difficult for him. We just don't accept it. Yang Long Lingyu said. I expressed my opinion of him. Could it be that I am not allowed to do so? Qin Yun now knows that this group of sun dragons can easily cause conflict and conflict. My current cultivation is indeed inferior to yours. If you don't approve of me, then I have nothing to say. Qin Yun said with smile. However, I am not as weak as you think. Oh. You want to fight me? Yang Long Lingyu laughed and said, All right, let's fight, I love fighting the most. I can't beat you. Qin Yun spread his hands and said with smile. My cultivation is right there, I am only a sacred god and you are a divine heavenly lord. There is still a Tao God realm between us, the disparity is too big. How about this? I will only use my Tao image to fight you, how about it? Yang Long Lingyu spoke. A large sacred tribulation gate suddenly appeared behind him. The gate frame of his sacred tribulation gate is carved with a golden red flame dragon. The entire gate is filled with majestic atmosphere, dragon power is soaring to the sky, it is very shocking. This Yang Long Lingyu also has a sacred tribulation gate. The gate opened and a furious fiery red dragon appeared. The dragon flew out and roared a few times, its aura is very scary. I don't need you to defeat my Dragon Tao image, I just need you to hold on for an hour. Yang Long Lingyu said with smile. So long as you can hold on for an hour, it will be considered your victory. Moreover, I will give you a generous gift. Xiao Yuemei said in low voice. Brother, don't fight him. He is a divine heavenly lord, even if he only uses his Tao image. He will be stronger than you. Divine daughter, rest assured, I will not harm him. Yang Long Ling Yu looked at Qin Yun. His eyes are filled with fanatical battle intent. He said with smile. I just want to see how outstanding the person chosen by Divine Sun is. Since Divine Sun thinks so highly of him, he must have some skill. Just as Yang Long Ling Yu finished speaking, a large shadow suddenly appeared behind Qin Yun. A sacred tribulation gate appeared. This sacred tribulation gate is not as magnificent as Yang Long Ling Yu's. Its aura is also not strong, but it is very big. Yang Long Ling Yu's is at most 100 feet tall, but Qin Yun's is over 1,000 feet tall. Sometimes big is also a kind of imposing manner. In terms of size, Qin Yun's sacred tribulation gate is stronger than Yang Long Ling Yu's. Seeing Qin Yun's sacred tribulation gate, Yang Long Ling Yu's pupils slightly shrank, then he laughed heartily. Good, you really have some skill. Let me see what is inside your sacred tribulation gate. After Qin Yun's sacred tribulation gate opened, a dragon roar shook the sky. A huge golden dragon, bringing with it an arrogant aura that disdains the heaven and earth, roared and rushed out of the sacred tribulation gate. This is Qin Yun's Divine Dragon Tao image. Divine Dragon Tao image is still a great heavenly Tao image. It has not evolved into a sacred heavenly Tao image, otherwise it would be even stronger than it is now. This dragon has an aura that disdains the 9 heavens. Chapter 24-26. Qin Yun has been in contact with many dragon race. He knows that they are very arrogant. If he wants these formidable dragons to lower their arrogant heads, he must defeat them fair and square. Seeing Qin Yun's Divine Dragon Tao image, those few middle-aged men are secretly apprehensive. They did not expect a human to be able to cultivate this kind of Divine Dragon Tao image. Qin Yun's Divine Dragon Tao image is not weak, it is also very pure. Especially that arrogant power containing heavenly might, it caused those sun dragons to feel incredulous. They themselves are very formidable dragons. They are very clear that it is very difficult for a human to cultivate a powerful Dragon Tao image. On top of that, even if a human cultivates a Divine Dragon Tao image, even if it is strong enough, it is not pure enough. It lacks the innate arrogant power of a dragon. Qin Yun's Divine Dragon Tao image not only has dragon power, it is also very different from others. The arrogant power contains heavenly might. In comparison, Qin Yun's Divine Dragon Tao image's aura is not any weaker than Sun Dragon Ling Yu's. Yang Long Ling Yu said with a serious expression, since you want to use the Dragon Tao avatar to fight, it's up to you. But I have to warn you, during the fight there will definitely be many sudden changes. Your Tao avatar might be destroyed. Your Dragon Tao image is very good, you must have spent a lot of effort to cultivate it. If it is destroyed, it will be very difficult to cultivate it again. One middle-aged man reminded Qin Yun. They can see that Qin Yun's Dragon Tao image is still very young, it has not matured into sacred heavenly Tao image, it is not very strong but it has great potential. My Tao image needs to grow, this is a chance to grow, Qin Yun said with smile. Only by fighting with experts can it grow even faster. Qin Yun is just looking for an opportunity to temper his Tao image. For example, this is a very good opportunity. At this time, powerful dragon power suddenly rushed over from all direction, a large number of sun dragons are rushing over. The sudden appearance of 2 sacred tribulation gates and the appearance of Dragon Tao image is not small at all, it has already alarmed the nearby sun dragons. On the ground, the sacred tribulation gate behind Qin Yun is wide open, half of a dragon's body is coming out, the dragon tail and 2 dragon claws are still inside the gate. Sun Dragon Ling Yu's Dragon Dao image is completely out. His Dragon Dao image is fiery red. His body is releasing a scorching and arrogant power energy wave from time to time. Qin Yun's Dragon Dao image is golden. The dazzling golden dragon head is even more shocking, its might is even stronger. The other sun dragons that rushed over all looked very young. They were in human form, but the dragon aura on their bodies was not weak at all. Qin Yun's gaze swept over several hundred people. There are only a few dozen middle-aged people. There are more than 100 young girls among them are very young, they are young sun dragons. The sun dragon race was still very young. The strongest should be those middle-aged ones. The Yun's King Yang dragon races battle. The clan sect King Yun's clans with the clan's Yun's spirit. Originally, they wanted to ridicule Qin Yun, but after seeing how domineering Qin Yun's divine dragon Dao image is, they can only say that Qin Yun is too conceited. Even Xiao Yuanmei feels that Qin Yun is conceited. Because Qin Yun's divine dragon Dao image is not even a sacred heavenly Dao image, yet he wants to fight against divine heaven monarch's Dao image. Not whoever has a bigger Dao image will be the strongest. The main thing is the divine power released by the Dao image. A middle-aged woman said, Elder Ling Yu's fire dragon Dao image is a Dao image cultivated by divine heaven monarch. That human's Dao image is only a great heavenly Dao image. Not even a sacred heavenly Dao image. How long can he last in front of Elder Ling Yu's dragon Dao image? Elder Ling Yu said that as long as he can hold on for an hour, he will win. That human has divine king heavenly seal. He looks very weak, why did divine sun choose him? A young girl said in low voice. Indeed. Our sun dragon race has so many experts, any one of them can easily beat up that human, why did Myriad Realms' divine sun choose him? A young man beside the young girl also has expression of dissatisfaction. Maybe even we can defeat that guy. The young girl lightly groaned and said. At this time, a middle-aged man hit their heads and said in low voice, That human has 10 Dao images. Moreover, he is only sacred God, you are also sacred God, but do you have his aura? Do you dare to face Elder Ling Yu? Those young men don't dare to say anything else, they indeed don't have that kind of aura. If they were standing in front of Yang Long Ling Yu, they might be so scared that their legs would go soft. Not only Qin Yun's legs did not go soft, he is also proudly standing there with a calm expression and a smile on his face. Not to mention those young men and girls, even if it is a sun dragon race youth, they might not be able to keep calm in this kind of situation, let alone smile. Since you are using Dragon Dao image to fight me, I will not take advantage of you. As long as you can hold on for half an hour, even if I win, I, Yang Long Ling Yu, will submit to you. Yang Long Ling Yu shouted. Come, I will let you attack first. Qin Yun's eyes suddenly flashed and turned light blue. He opened his heavenly eye and imperial heaven heart crazily throbbed. In just a blink of an eye, he entered imperial heaven state. After entering imperial heaven state, his imperial heaven heart began to frantically revolve, drawing the power of other Dao images and gathering it into the imperial heaven heart. Then through the Xian divine veins, it was transported to the divine dragon Dao image's sacred tribulation gate. Qin Yun is currently using all his strength to activate the divine dragon Dao image, moreover he has entered imperial heaven state. His divine dragon Dao image is formed from the heavenly Dao's arrogant force. Following a roar, the divine dragon Dao image's scales flickered with blue light. Under the dazzling golden scales, many blue light rays gushed out, causing the huge divine dragon Dao image to suddenly turn golden blue. What is even more terrifying is that a very terrifying aura surged out. This kind of aura is as if it can control the heaven and earth. This sudden change caused Yang Long Ling Yu to feel an indescribable pressure. Roar! Qin Yun's divine dragon Dao image suddenly danced, it nimbly leaped over, like a thunder and lightning bolt, it attacked Yang Long Lingyu. Yang Long Lingyu's Dragon Dao image released a fierce fiery red energy flame. It formed a barrier to block Qin Yun's berserk Dragon Dao image. Qin Yun's Dragon Dao image collided head-on. It created a vast and mighty energy wave, causing the surrounding people to cry out in alarm. Boom! An incomparably loud vibration sound echoed. Although Yang Long Lingyu's Dragon Dao image has a barrier, it was smashed head-on and the dragon head was hit by Qin Yun's Dragon Dao image. The two dragon heads collided and Yang Long Lingyu's Dragon Dao image was actually sent flying. One must know that Qin Yun's Dragon Dao image is twice as big as Yang Long Lingyu's. From this, it can be seen that Qin Yun's Dragon Dao image is not as weak as everyone thinks. This is not even the sacred heavenly Dao image, yet it has this kind of power. This caused the group of sun dragons to be shocked. Their faces are filled with disbelief. Bind! Qin Yun promptly controlled his divine Dragon Dao image and bound the fire dragon that was sent flying. A very frightening scene suddenly appeared. Many black runes appeared on the surface of Qin Yun's divine Dragon Dao image. These runes are very black, they look like bottomless abyss. Although many black runes appeared on the golden blue dragon body, they are not at all out of harmony. These black runes seem to be perfectly fused with the golden blue dragon body, as if they were innately there. These black runes are the Nether Sun Totem. Back when it was only the heavenly Dao Proud Force, it already had the Nether Sun Totem. Now that it has become the divine Dragon Dao image, the Nether Sun Totem is still there. Moreover, the Nether Sun Totem has been evolving for a very long time. The Nether Sun Totem that appeared on the surface of the divine Dragon Dao image is most likely the Nether Sun Dragon Totem. This kind of totem has never appeared before. It is because Qin Yun has the Nether Sun, then he perfectly fused the Nether Sun and the divine Dragon Dao image, giving birth to the totem. Sometimes a small nether sun can devour a huge divine sun that is several hundred times bigger than it. Many ancient texts and records have concluded that nether sun has the ability to swallow an elephant. Qin Yun's divine Dragon Dao image wrapped around Yang Long Lingyu's fire dragon and began devouring it. It is not completely devouring the fire dragon, it is only devouring the divine power released by the fire dragon, making it unable to attack. The fire dragon also doesn't have enough divine power to struggle free. In this way, not to mention an hour, even 20 hours wouldn't be a problem. Of course, if Qin Yun is serious, he can completely devour the fire dragon. Xiao Yueme finally relaxed and said indifferently, "Elder Lingyu, do you think it is necessary to continue fighting?" "I concede." Yang Long Lingyu suddenly shouted these 3 words in a very loud voice. Qin Yun promptly took back the divine Dragon Dao image and said, "I think we are even. If we continue to fight like this, Elder Lingyu will use even stronger divine power. I might not be able to hold on. Your Dao image is not even a sacred heavenly Dao image, but it was able to suppress me from the very beginning. I wholeheartedly accept my loss." Yang Long Lingyu cupped his fists towards Qin Yun and said with straightforward smile, "As expected of the person chosen by Divine Sun, you are indeed stronger than a boorish fellow like me." The group of sun dragons watching from the distance also burst into an uproar. Many youngsters believe that Yang Long Lingyu should not concede. He should continue fighting. As long as he uses his strongest divine power, he will be able to break free. But Yang Long Lingyu's thinking is different from them. Yang Long Lingyu is very clear that Qin Yun was being lenient earlier, otherwise his fire dragon would have been sucked dry without any chance to struggle. Therefore, he can see Qin Yun's potential. This is only a great heavenly Dao image divine dragon, and it already has this level of strength. If it becomes a sacred heavenly Dao image, it will definitely be even stronger. If Qin Yun becomes a divine heavenly monarch, that kind of strength is terrifying just thinking about it. Xiao Yuanmei did not expect Qin Yun to have this kind of move. She and Qin Yun are very familiar with each other, but she still underestimated Qin Yun's strength. At the same time, she is secretly apprehensive of Qin Yun's strength. Maybe he is still hiding other dreadful big moves. Chapter 24-27. Qin Yun and Yang Long Yu put away their sacred tribulation gate, and the scene became calm again. Because Qin Yun suddenly mentioned the divine sun descendants, the atmosphere became somewhat gloomy. Qin Yun originally thought that with the Sun Dragon race's overall strength, even if they could not destroy the divine sun descendants, they would still be able to suppress them. Now, seeing the reaction of the Sun Dragons, Qin Yun knows that the divine sun descendants are much stronger than he imagined. Little brother Qin, you don't know how strong the divine sun descendants are. In short, with our Sun Dragon race's current strength, we are not a match for those divine sun descendants. Yang Yu said, we also rely on divine sun's power to barely resist them. Your Sun Dragon race is still a new race. It is normal that you are no match for the divine sun descendants. Qin Yun said, I am the same. We all need a process of growth, so we need to work hard to increase our strength. Yang Yu nodded and said, Little brother Qin, I said before that if you can defeat me, I will give you a gift. This is for you. He took out a fiery red pearl and handed it over to Qin Yun. What is this? Qin Yun did not take it and said, If it's something too precious, I can't take it. Your Sun Dragon race needs resources to improve even more. Yang Yu patted Qin Yun's shoulder and said with smile, This is the Dragon God Spirit. It is useless to us, but it is useful to you. It can improve your divine Dragon Tao image. I think you should have a way to use this Dragon God Spirit to strengthen your divine Dragon Tao image. Qin Yun also took the Dragon God Spirit. Earlier, he saw that the eyes of many youngsters around him are filled with envy. It can be seen that this Dragon God Spirit is very useful. Isn't this too precious? Qin Yun held it in his hand and can feel that the Dragon God Spirit has a very powerful energy. It is an energy that is very helpful to the Tao image. This might allow him to cultivate the divine Dragon Tao image into the sacred heavenly Tao image. Previously, because he devoured the 8 cauldron Tao image of that person from the 8 Tao clan, he evolved the divine cauldron Tao image. He didn't need to eat sacred Tao divine pill to advance, nor did he need to wait for an opportunity. We have some of these things, but not everyone can obtain them. Yang Yu swept a glance at the youths and said with a smile, You brats, if you want to obtain the Dragon Divine Soul, then work hard and perform well in the family competition. I will naturally reward you. Qin Yun understood, the Dragon God Spirit is used to motivate those youths. Let them obtain it through competition. This will make them work even harder to improve themselves. Many thanks, Elder Yu. Qin Yun immediately expressed his gratitude. Little brother Qin, you came from the God Wasteland, and we have never been to the God Wasteland before. Can you stay a little longer? Yang Yu laughed. Tell those youngsters about the situation of the God Wasteland. Of course, let's talk here, Qin Yun said with smile. It was also at this time that the young Sun Dragons came over. They were filled with curiosity about the gods desolate. They didn't go to the gods desolate because there were many descendants of the divine sun outside. They needed to have the ability to resist the attacks of the descendants of the divine sun before they could leave the ancestral divine Sunday. After that, Qin Yun began to talk about the recent situation in the divine desolate, mainly about the other god worlds entering the divine desolate and the 9 heavens race. Qin Yun clearly told them who are the people who disturbed the order of the god desolate. In addition, Qin Yun also talked about the experience of the 9 desolate 9 sons in the divine desolate. These matters helped them understand how difficult it was to form the god desolate. After knowing many things about the god desolate, the young sun dragons all yearned for it. They all wanted to roam that vast world. Regarding the matters of the god desolate, even the elders like Yang Long Ling you don't know much. Therefore, they listened very seriously and analyzed the situation of the god desolate. Little brother Qin, the divine universe heavenly dragon and divine universe ice dragon you are talking about. The overall strength of the dragon race of the god desolate should not be weak, right? Yang Long Ling you asked. They are very concerned about the situation of the dragon race of the god desolate. Not bad, their overall strength can be considered above average. Currently, Divine Universe Heavenly Dragon is mainly leading a team to exterminate the 9 heavens divine demons. I haven't contacted him for a long time, Qin Yun said. If there's a chance, I will gather with the dragon race of the god desolate and exchange pointers. Yang Long Ling you nodded and said, My 9 heaven divine palace has a dragon palace. There are many dragons inside. My father was a fire dragon in his past life. Later he reincarnated into a human and found his fire dragon true body. He can be considered a fire dragon, Qin Yun said with smile. In that case, we can be considered to have some relationship, Yang Long Ling you said with clear smile and patted Qin Yun's shoulder. Of course, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to cultivate divine dragon Dao image. Qin Yun laughed. Thinking about Qin Yun's divine dragon Dao image, all the youths present felt admiration from the bottom of their hearts. We will definitely arrive at the god desolate as soon as possible, Yang Long Ling you said. We have the help of the divine sun here, we can grow up very quickly. Wait until our scale gradually increases. We will definitely go to the god desolate and maintain the order of the god desolate. To the sun dragon race, as long as they are not facing the descendants of the divine sun, they are not afraid of dealing with other races. After you come to the god desolate, I will let the dragon palace make arrangements for you. Remember to find me when the time comes, Qin Yun said with smile. Alright. Yang Long Ling you nodded. Qin Yun has been staying here for a long time. After bidding farewell to Xiao Yueme, he was sent out of the ancestral god sun's core area. After coming out of the ancestral god sun, Qin Yun looked at the huge divine sun and sighed endlessly in his heart. He finally saw the creatures inside the ancestral god sun's core area. They are a group of formidable sun dragons. If these sun dragons descend to the god desolate, they will surely become a powerful faction that can dominate a region. Qin Yun being able to establish good relations with them is also not bad. They will be able to join forces in the future. There are too many evil factions in the god desolate and they are all very strong. This is the root cause of the chaos in the god desolate. And the myriad realms divine palace that maintains the order of the god desolate is still very weak. Even if 9 Yang Divine Palace and Divine Moon Clan join forces, they still won't be able to fight against so many divine worlds. Furthermore, the descendants of the Divine Sun are a very big potential threat. Qin Yun entered the heaven-leaping shuttle to return to the god desolate. He looked at the divine moon that is emitting blue light. It is a very mysterious existence. Xiao Yueme said before that during the process of the divine moon's transformation, it might give birth to powerful creatures. If their divine moon clan and Guang Han Palace want to return to the divine moon, they will have to face many difficulties. They will have to repel a large number of enemies, and they won't even be able to dominate the entire god desolate. My mother should have already recovered. It's just that father's 9 heaven law curse has not been removed. Next, Qin Yun will think of a way to kill divine King Jiang Xian. Let's see if this grandson Jiang Daliang can succeed or not. Once divine King Jiang Xian dies, Qin Long's 9 heaven law curse will also be removed. Xiao Yun, the Heavenly Dao Pawnshop's boss meeting is also very important. You must prepare well, Ling Yuner said. Boss Dongfang came to find him and said that after 50 days, there will be a Heavenly Dao Pawnshop's boss meeting. The few bosses will gather inside the Heavenly Dao Pawnshop to discuss the distribution of power. I will prepare well. Qin Yun took out the dragon god spirit from the heaven leaping shuttle. He placed the dragon god spirit into the tribulation gate where the divine dragon Tao image is located. Because the divine dragon Tao image has the nether sun totem, it has a certain amount of devouring power. Devouring and fusing with the dragon god spirit is not a problem. Originally, I planned to cultivate the nether sun Tao image, but I didn't expect that I would have to cultivate the divine dragon Tao image. Qin Yun shook his head and laughed. This matter is not the same as planned. His evolution of the divine cauldron Tao image into the sacred heavenly Tao image was also outside of his plan. This is after all your Tao image. The process of growth is also full of opportunities. Ling Yun said with charming smile. Qin Yun began cultivating the divine dragon Tao image inside the heaven leaping shuttle. After flying for a few days, Qin Yun landed on the ground and cultivated the divine dragon Tao image into the sacred heavenly Tao image. The divine dragon Tao image has become the sacred heavenly Tao image. However, Qin Yun has not released it yet. In short, it will definitely be very strong. Now, he has 5 sacred heavenly Tao images: Ling Yun Tao image, divine hammer Tao image, heavenly lion Tao image, divine cauldron Tao image, and divine dragon Tao image. The formation of these 5 sacred heavenly Tao images will allow him to be more relaxed when facing Tao God Realm experts. Finally returned to the ground. Although Qin Yun has not been gone for too long, many things have happened recently. Most of the people from other god realms are very rampant, oppressing native humans everywhere, following 9 heavens demon race and 9 heavens divine race to do evil everywhere. The sovereigns of various heavens are now hegemons of a region, establishing their own divine nation and recruiting a large number of experts. The sovereigns of various heavens also declared that the entire divine desolate belongs to the divine nation, including the divine sun and divine moon in the sky. He also regarded the 9 Yang divine palace inside the Sword Forest Desert as an enemy of the divine nation. Apart from this, the 9 Yang royal family is also their target of plundering and killing. The strange thing is that the sovereigns of various heavens did not dare to say anything to the divine son of the myriad realms. Qin Yun is now in contact with the nameless old man to understand the recent situation. Divine nation? These sovereigns of various heavens are truly arrogant. Qin Yun said with low groan. Palace King, that guy also said, some heavenly rule Tao tradition wrote that Divine Moon Clan's empress will become his empress. The nameless old man said in low voice. He also said, Divine Moon Clan is his harem. Bullshit. Qin Yun cursed in a low voice. The heavenly rule Tao tradition is a book. I don't know how the myriad realms divine palace obtained it. I took a few glances. It indeed wrote that Divine Moon Clan's empress is the successor of the heavenly Tao, the partner of the person with the 10 Tao images. The nameless old man said again, Palace King, many things recorded in the heavenly rule Tao tradition have finally become true. Yu Shangyun is already Qin Yun's woman. Qin Yun naturally will not tell the nameless old man about this matter. Qin Yun previously refined many sacred Tao divine pills. This time, when he returned, he will follow Yu Shangyun's instructions to find her to cultivate the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra and cultivate a sacred heavenly Tao image. Chapter 24-28. Of course Qin Yun knows that heavenly sovereigns are very strong, but he believes that compared to divine sun descendants, they are easier to deal with. Divine sun descendants are very difficult to kill. They are very troublesome and make people have no way to deal with them. Nameless old man, help me find Jiang Jiuchuan and his son Jiang Daliang. I need to find them. If you can contact them, tell me immediately. I will go find them as soon as possible. Qin Yun said. Jiang Jiuchuan and Jiang Daliang are divine King Jiang Xian's son and grandson. Their relationship with Divine King Jiang Xian is not good, but Qin Yun plans to join hands with them to set up a trap to kill Divine King Jiang Xian. He had already arranged for Jiang Daliang before. He doesn't know how Jiang Daliang is doing now. It's very easy to find them, leave it to me. I will find them as soon as possible. Palace King, you must be careful of that heavenly sovereigns, that guy can't wait to kill you. The old man said. I was chased by him once before, but didn't I come out fine in the end? He can't do anything to me. Qin Yun said with smile. This guy is very strong, but he is not invincible. That's good, the old man said. After Qin Yun and the old man ended their conversation, he quickly returned to the Sword Forest Desert. Just as he was about to return to the Nine Yang Divine Palace, the Divine King Heavenly Seal suddenly made a strong movement. He took out the Divine King Heavenly Seal from both sides. Through the Divine King Heavenly Seal, he can sense that there are other divine position gods nearby and they are in danger. This is a signal for help. Qin Yun has the Divine King Heavenly Seal. Helping other divine position gods is also his responsibility, so he immediately rushed over. Has the Myriad Realms Divine Palace begun to move? Qin Yun thought. He didn't ask the old man about the Myriad Realms Divine Palace. Qin Yun believes that the Myriad Realms Divine Palace is still in the growth stage. Although many divine position gods are very powerful, they are still lacking when facing other powerful races or experts from other god realm. After divine position gods have enough strength, they will begin to maintain the order of the Divine Desolate. Through the Divine King Heavenly Seal, Qin Yun can sense whether the nearby divine throne gods are in danger or not. He can also know where the surrounding divine throne gods are. I wonder what kind of god it is. Qin Yun quickly rushed over. He only knows that there is a divine position nearby, but he doesn't know what kind of divine position it is. The star god was still in Qin Yun's Nine Yang Divine Spirit. It seemed to be evolving together with the Star Vault Divine Mirror. Not only could she strengthen the Star Dome Divine Mirror, but she could also strengthen herself along with the Star Dome Divine Mirror, but it would take a long time. After flying for more than an hour, Qin Yun suddenly sensed the aura of a Nine Heavens Divine Demon. It's the Nine Heavens Divine Demons causing trouble. Qin Yun is rather surprised because the gods of the Myriad Realms Divine Court are fighting with the Nine Heavens Divine Demons. This meant that the Divine Court of the Myriad Worlds had already formed a certain amount of combat power and had the strength to fight against the Nine Heavens Divine Beasts. Are there a lot of them? Ling Yuner asked. If there are a lot of Nine Heavens Divine Demon, I can come out and help. Not for now. Qin Yun could detect quite a number of Nine Heavens Divine Demons, but from their auras, they were not too strong. There were sacred gods and Tao gods, but there were only a few Nine Heavens Divine Demons at that level. There was only one Tao God Realm Divine Demon. He should be the leader, the rest are all sacred God Realm. In Qin Yun's eyes, Tao God Realm Divine Demons are very easy to deal with, so there is no need for Ling Yuner to take action. After getting close to the battlefield, Qin Yun sensed a very familiar ice and cold power. The front has turned into a world of ice and snow, a violent snowstorm is blowing over. This is Sister Rujing. Qin Yun promptly took out Xian Rujing's soul-chasing talisman. It is indeed ice and snow goddess fighting. Apart from Xian Rujing's aura, ice spirits and snow fairies have also come out to fight. Knowing that Xian Rujing is ahead, Qin Yun immediately used Light Transformation Sacred Pupil and rushed towards the center of the battlefield. Just as he rushed over, he saw Xian Rujing fighting with a man with long flowing silver hair. Xian Rujing is wearing snow-white clothes, her cold and elegant face is filled with killing intent. There is a wine pot hanging on her waist, apparently she has been drinking all this time. Ice and snow fairies are holding divine swords that look like ice and snow fairies. They are releasing very strong ice and snow divine power to freeze the surrounding Nine Heavens Divine Demons. There are dozens of 9 heavens divine demons, all of them are men with silver hair, they are high-level 9 heavens divine demons. The 9 heavens divine demon fighting against Xian Rujing is Tao God Realm. Moreover, there are a few other sacred God Realm experts attacking Xian Rujing from time to time. Xian Rujing's body is covered by a layer of ice and snow goddess totem. A layer of ice and snow goddess totem can protect her. Ice and snow goddess. You are truly an exceptional beauty. The leader of the 9 heavens divine demons said with evil smile. Such a beauty will soon fall into my evil fox's hands. Ha ha ha. Evil fox, you have met me, only death awaits you. Xian Rujing shouted in cold voice. Her killing intent is bone-piercing cold. She formed hand seals and suddenly ice and thunder dropped down from the sky, crazily attacking all around. Xian Rujing has mastered Heavenly Tribulation divine ability as well as Heavenly Space Frost Curse. Her strength is not weak at all. Especially during the time she was in seclusion inside the Myriad Worlds Divine Palace, her strength advanced by leaps and bounds. Under Bai Suxin's guidance, her understanding of Heavenly Space Frost Curse increased by a lot. Now she can control very strong Heavenly Space Ice and Snow divine power. You can't kill me. Evil Fox laughed loudly and said, no matter what, I am still the son of Heavenly Demon Divine King. Even if you are a formidable ice and snow goddess, you still can't do anything to me. Evil Fox's body is now sealed in ice. He fell on the ground like an ice sculpture. However, he can still condense his mental power into sound and let it out. He proudly laughed wildly and said, Beauty, you can continue. I want to see how strong you can be. I like powerful women like you the most. There are dozens of 9 heavens divine demons here. Their bloodline is very high. Evil Fox is the son of Heavenly Demon Divine King. His subordinates are naturally not weak. But now they are all frozen into ice sculptures. Xian Rujing looked at the frozen Evil Fox in front of her and summoned ice spirits and snow spirits back into her body. Evil Fox, I can't kill you, but my man can. Xian Rujing knows that Qin Yun has arrived. A sweet smile appeared on her ice-cold face. You actually have a man? Who is he? I will torture him like a dead dog in front of you. Evil Fox's furious voice came out. He is extremely jealous, especially when he saw Xian Rujing's sweet smile. Xian Rujing has always been ice, cold, but when she talks about her man, her face is filled with sweetness. From this, it can be seen how good her relationship with her man is. Evil Fox's body is trembling. He is releasing bursts of blue light rays. He wants to struggle free from the layer of ice on his body. Xian Rujing strengthened the layer of ice, making it so that even if Evil Fox releases all of his divine power, he would not be able to break it. A light beam suddenly shot over. Qin Yun using Transformation Light Sacred Pupil has arrived. After Qin Yun arrived, he did not say anything. He took out the blue chain from his neck and inserted it into the Evil Fox's heart. After the heaven-locking chain entered the Evil Fox's heart, it quickly spread inside his body and became longer. The chain directly drilled into his bones. It is like tree roots, twisting and turning inside the Evil Fox's body, firmly binding his body. Xian Rujing saw Qin Yun arrive and stopped maintaining the layer of ice. Bang! The ice on the Evil Fox's body suddenly shattered. Evil Fox's body is in endless pain because Qin Yun is pouring in suffering divine ability power. You are Snow Goddess Man? Who are you? Evil Fox endured the pain, gritted his teeth and said, You can't kill me. Xiao Yun. Xian Rujing arrived behind Qin Yun and hugged him from behind. She softly yelled, I missed you. Evil Fox is about to explode in anger. He is in unbearable pain and Xian Rujing is hugging Qin Yun, showing affection in front of him. Sister Rujing, I also missed you. Wait for me to kill this guy first. Qin Yun laughed and said, Kill me? Who do you think you are? Evil Fox is doing his best to break the Heaven Locking Chain. Heaven Locking Chain is specialized in restraining 9 heavens divine demons and 9 heavens divine race people. Is Long Peng your elder brother or younger brother? He and Jiang Zhenchuan were both killed by me. Qin Yun said with smile. You killed them? Could it be that you are? Evil Fox was very confident that he can't die, but he suddenly thought of something. Indeed, I am Qin Yun. Qin Yun said with smile. Heavenly Demon Divine King has so many sons, none of them can fight. While Qin Yun is speaking, a black nether sun totem appeared on the Heaven Locking Chain. The Heaven Locking Chain inside Evil Fox's body suddenly produced a devouring power. Ah! Evil Fox let out a miserable scream. His body suddenly shriveled up and then shattered. Qin Yun released the Divine Tribulation Gate. The Nether Sun Dao inside the gate is like a huge Taotai beast. It completely devoured those frozen 9 heavens divine demons. These guys are so weak. Xian Rujing hugged Qin Yun's arm, leaned on him and said with gentle smile, My Xiao Yun is very strong. Sister Rujing, how come you are here? Qin Yun hugged Xian Rujing's slender waist and deeply breathed in the cold and intoxicating body fragrance of this beauty. Those guys are killing and eating people everywhere. I came to exterminate them. Xian Rujing's beautiful and charming eyes are filled with tender feelings as she looked at Qin Yun with deep feeling. When Qin Yun saw how seductive the beauty was, he could not help but hug her tightly before kissing her red lips. Xiao Yun, I am very worried that something bad will happen to you. Xian Rujing pulled Qin Yun's hand and said in low voice, I have seen that heavenly law Dao tradition, don't believe that thing. Qin Yun said with smile, Let's go, I want to return to 9 Sun Divine Palace, are you coming with me? I still have matters to attend to. There is a city ahead, there might be 9 heavens divine demons hiding inside. I want to exterminate those 9 heavens divine demons. Xian Rujing said. Then I will go with you. Qin Yun pulled her hand and released Heaven Leaping Shuttle. Xian Rujing is ice and snow goddess, she has a divine position, so she also has her own mission. I saved a group of people before, they should be rushing towards that city now. Xian Rujing lightly sighed and said, The people I saved belong to a special race, therefore they are easily targeted by man-eating demons. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.